This is Don Coscarelli, writer-director of Bubba Ho-Tep, and I'm joined by my esteemed colleague, Mr. Bruce Campbell.
Hello there, thank you. Pleasure to be here. For Bubba Ho-Tep. I like that the Ho-Tep came up first, because it actually seems like it's serious at first, until you get the Bubba definition. And then I think people, what's funny, by the end of this definition, they kind of get what's going on here.
No question. And I think what's really nice about today, Bruce, joining with you to do this commentary is we're pretty much at the end of the road on Bubba Ho-Tep. We've survived the shooting and the editing of the movie, and we have survived the festival circuit.
And now the so-called distribution?
Well, I would say it's more than so-called. We cracked the $1 million barrier, and now we're going on to the $2 million barrier.
And so how many theaters how many markets did it get to?
Well over 100,
Wow.
and still growing at this time. So we're going to cover the entire nation with our theatrical distribution, which is really wonderful.
Now, this footage, I always wondered, did you buy this from someone?
Yeah, it came from an actual German newsreel. That's a narrator, and of course, if you check the translation, we didn't accurately translate the German.
But did you have a bogus actor doing the voice?
No, that's all actually from the
That was
original,
really the guy's voice?
Yeah, from the 30s, a German newsreel about
So he really
pharaohs.
sort of talked like that when he...
Wow.
Yeah.
And of course, we're hearing the great music of Brian Tyler.
Yeah, which really sets the stage. We originally were going to go with a Patsy Cline song in here, which we couldn't, of course, afford. Much like any of the actual Elvis tunes, because I think, as anybody notices
That's
when
right.
they watch the film, there's not one Elvis cue in the film.
What?
We spent a lot of time on this set to get it right with Justin Zaharczuk and Danny Vecchione. They were in there. They put in that yellow wainscoting and painted the thing chocolate, to get the really
But it was
creepy.
still a pretty horrible place. It was Downey, California, which is just south of Los Angeles, in the armpit of America. And this was an old veterans facility, right?
Yeah, we found it down there. I think I was down there. My son had a high school football game, and I looked across the field, and I saw this old place, and I took a drive through there. And it had just been abandoned, and we were able to work with the county and the state and get access to it, and shot essentially 95% of the movie there.
Right.
We even built the trailer park, so we shot the hallways.
Right, it was
and
really
everything.
like our own little backlot, kind of.
It was really a beautiful setup.
And here's, of course, the very opening scene where our hero is talking about, his penis filling up with pus again. And this is where there's always a point in the screenings that I saw where there's a certain group of the audience went, "What did he just say?"
It definitely sets the tone. And, you got to give the credit to Joe Lansdale, the writer of the original story. When I read that first line, which was in the story, I just said, oh, this is different. And, all throughout, I was under pressure from a lot of people. They'd tell me that this whole subplot of Elvis with cancer on little Elvis was not going to work. And yet, now I think that the film's done. I think it really does add a nice tone to it.
Yeah, because how often can you have cancer on your penis? It's a touching ailment.
So, Bruce, what was it like to endure the makeup that you were forced to wear in this film?
It was nothing. 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, I'm out of the chair.
Right.
It was about 2.5 hours. I think we got it down to 2.5.
My God, man. How long have I been here?
A good reveal of the belly here, of his polyfoam belly.
How could my
Got the big mutton chops, too. I think Mel Tooker, who did the application here, the makeup application, I think she really did a good job. One of her problems was she had to cover the scar on the left side of my chin, which is a pain because it's a very prominent scar, so she had to deal with that. And then Adam, the DP, the director of photography, I remember you and I having this discussion with him that Elvis has to be lit because of the makeup like an old starlet. That you can't just light him because you'll see edges and lines and things like that you don't really want to see, and you'll see details in the... Mel used some airbrushing on my face to get stipple and liver spots.
The liver spots.
Yeah, all the good stuff. And so Adam really got on board, I think, and that's how you have to treat him. Of course, when you get to sequences like this, you don't have to worry about it as much.
We also had made a decision early on to go with a higher speed stock, and we shot the film, I think it was 800 ASA, which added a level of grain, which, made it artsy looking, a little artistic, but at the same time, it softened up the makeup and helped it to play.
I think it probably helped a lot. It was probably didn't have to use as much lighting either.
Yeah, absolutely. We went with the low lights, which, of course, as you know, working into that thick makeup can get really painful.
Yeah, it can be a drag because these rooms are pretty stale as it is. I like the fact that the decision was to go with the full wig. I mean, that's a full Elvis wig. It's not my hair. My hair doesn't have that much juice. I know. I'm sorry to break it to you, Don. But, that's the way to get the exact look.
Oh, yeah, definitely Elvis always had some loft, I mean, from his early pompadour days. And
Yeah.
he wanted to, keep a little of that, still even in old age.
Yeah, just throw a little salt and pepper in there. And you still got the big mutton chops from 1974, too. And, they added a little chinage. The whole idea with the Elvis makeup was to round out off the face. So they messed around with the bridge of my nose, a little bit with my chin. But they left my lips alone, thankfully. Now, who are these two yahoos?
Well, they're a couple of good friends. We got Dan Roebuck, who has been in some great pictures, including The River's Edge, and Daniel Schweiger, who also worked as our music supervisor and was very instrumental in bringing Brian Tyler into the project. So he does.
So they're
some
not
acting.
just yahoos after all. These are two important men.
They are.
Reoccurring characters, I guess you might say. I like this scene because it shows how horrible it is at this rest home that you could be dying in an iron lung and someone's still going to rip stuff off you.
Well, there are predators everywhere, and sometimes they're, little old ladies. And I think that, obviously we wanted to have a character. We needed somebody to be done in by the mummy at the beginning of the film. And, usually when you bring an expendable character and you got to give him some kind of a, an affect where the audience doesn't necessarily root for him.
Yeah, they don't really care if they get it or not. And this lady, what's funny is this actress who's about to steal this poor woman's eyeglasses. I saw her in another commercial, and it was for retirement. And she was playing a mean old lady in that, too. So you've typecast her, Don, that it was how you'd save for retirement in the future is you have all your friends over and shake them on your couch and all the change will come out of their pockets. And then after they leave, you pick it all up. So it's her being mean and shaking her old friends on this couch. So
yeah, she was good
something. Casting.
I'd also like to mention that the lady in the iron lung there is the grandmother of our producer, Jason Savage, who was a good
I
sport.
didn't know that.
Yeah, she spent the day in an iron lung.
Well, it's better than 4 years in an iron lung.
No question.
She was cute. She's got a line later. What about you, cockroach? she makes cockroach into 3 words.
Yeah,
Where'd this little music come from?
This came from Brian Tyler. It's one of his.
He just concocted it?
Yeah, little big band era.
Yeah, it's like an old. She's sitting around listening to big band music.
Yeah, a little depressing, and eating her chocolates, her Purloin chocolates.
It's horrible, and I have to say, you've done what tortured me as a kid. You have close-ups of dolls, and you're not really allowed to do that because dolls are so scary. It's a good precursor for this scene.
Well, it puts us off balance. We don't know who's coming in or what it's going to be. I like the fact that she gives this scarab beetle a run for its money. She's
kind of a mean old bat. Yeah.
She's not going to go easy.
Now, who is this? Who was the king of the Beatles? Who was behind the Beetle?
Well, Douglas Cary Pryor is his name, and Cary had worked on the Phantasm films, creating some of the really memorable flying sphere sequences.
Oh, I didn't know he'd worked on those.
Yeah, Phantasm 3 and 4.
So he was a very logical choice.
Oh, yeah, he's great with modeling, and he's a filmmaker in his own right. And
I remember he was really into it. When we shot a lot of sequences, he got so excited shooting this Beetle. Flying around, very low tech, too.
Oh, yeah, no, we did it the old-fashioned way, with analog. Rubber creatures. Because, Bruce, you probably know, isn't it easier for you to work off of a rubber prop than to just look and
something that's real, rather than a little mark on a wall that's going to become a digital creature later. Sure, give me a rubber bug any day.
But
I'll get you, cockroach.
Cary was really into the personality of these bugs, too. The way that they would look at you and...
Now, where did the little sounds come from?
That was through the sound effects editors. They had, I think there was some kind of animal noise that they processed to get that effect.
Here's our first shot of Bubba.
We don't really show him there too much.
Just
keep
a
him
hint.
in shadows.
A hint of Bubba.
And, of course, that's Bob Ivy as Bubba Ho-Tep.
What's funny is I always get people go, oh, you poor thing, you had 2.5 hours of makeup. Well, no one said anything about Bob Ivy. He's wearing a whole suit. And I remember he had to hit certain positions and marks, and it was way more critical than anything I was doing.
And going to the bathroom wasn't easy for
Oh,
him
I can
either.
imagine. This is creepy.
I don't know. It's the funniest scene in the movie for me.
But to me, it's not. To me, it's genuinely creepy. Help me. And then she's dragged away. It's like The Exorcist or something. It's really horrible. And, of course, Elvis is still in bed.
I don't think you get out of bed, Bruce, until what, about the end of the first act almost?
Yeah, end of Act 1, exactly. The
So-
heck is going on in this rest home?
He can't figure it out, so he goes back to
Yeah.
sleep.
The hell with it, man. I'm going to go back. Get some rust eye.
Now, this car was actually used in Phantasm 3 and 4.
Oh, you're kidding. It's the Phantasm car.
Yeah.
It's fantastic, Don. That car. Here's the two knuckleheads again. I like how they had their little miserable life, too.
You know, I was thinking,
What? You gonna get all weepy on me again?
no, I was merely going to suggest that you use some of this here deodorizer and spray it on that corpse because she's smelling pretty rough.
There's the whole underbelly of the rest home, you know, the administrative side of it.
You know, it's pretty grim stuff we have facing us at the end of the day, winding up like this in an old folks home.
Yeah, exactly. I like these effects. Were these all, were you doing that with the shutter, or was it, it seems like it's a combination of both, of speed and shutter, because you got blur.
Yeah, it was both. The idea being that we wanted to make it appear that Elvis was having a hard time waking up, that he was sort
Time was out of whack.
of... Yeah, he was losing it, basically.
Well, you've got jump cuts even over Elvis. You have little,
Yeah,
as he's turning his head back, you see little shifts in the movement.
just that he's disoriented and really not quite there. And,
Right.
and of course, thematically, this whole process of the mummies and scarab beetles and Jack Kennedy are what, give him something to think about and bring him back to life.
Sure. And of course, this actress gives everyone hope in the movie because they go, oh, this cute actress is going to be in the movie, not this ugly ass Elvis.
I'm afraid it is a bit of a tease, but it's Heidi Marnhat. She's a wonderful actress.
I think she did a good job.
Yeah, she did. You guys had a nice rapport, and she's so callous in her own way. I mean, in terms of the way that some people do treat their parents, don't really give a damn, would throw away
Yeah, well, I
the
dated
Purple
a
Heart.
couple actresses, so yeah, they're pretty callous.
Yeah.
Could I have one of them pictures of Bull? Maybe
The other
it's,
great thing about Heidi is she just approached it in a spirit of fun and didn't have any problem with the scene coming up here where she bends over.
Sure,
a tin of chocolates there?
where he gets a peek at her love nest.
I suppose.
Right, it's so blatant too.
This is a nice score also. You'll find that a lot of these funny moments that Tyler just hits the tone perfectly.
She didn't mind if I got a bird's eye view of her love nest. It was the same to her as a house cat sneaking a peek. I felt my pecker.
One of the things that I
That's
just
one of my favorite lines. Like a pigeon having a heart attack. It was very descriptive.
And that was one of the joys of working with Joe's short story, because he had, he has his East Texas is where he hails from, and he's got a certain East Texas style.
And isn't most of what you adapted in the story? I mean,
Yeah, very much so. I don't know that we cut much out at all. We used the entire thing and just added a few sections.
because I've told folks this is one of the few cases where the writer is still speaking to the filmmakers after it's done.
I think Joe's one of the best cheerleaders for this movie we got.
Because most writers, they're tortured. They write a movie and they go, oh my God, Hollywood's making my movie. And then it gets completely retitled, recast, re-edited, and, with a new ending, a new twist ending.
Well, Bruce, you wonder why people would make a film of a book that they don't care about. I mean, I really treated Joe's book like the Bible, wanted to use as much as possible.
Yeah, I agree.
And I would say that, some of the only differences really were the whole scarab beetle stuff was added. And, and we added some more, going back, the flashbacks of Elvis, young Elvis, was added. But it's pretty much a development on the themes that Joe created.
Sure, yeah. Well, it makes sense to me. I can't imagine if this movie was made by a studio. I'm not sure if they would know what to do with it. that you'd probably go with a younger Elvis. He probably wouldn't have cancer on his penis. He'd have some other kind of ailment. So it's funny that I can't even imagine the changes that you would have had. They would have forced you to go through.
Well, they wouldn't want to put it in a rest home because it's too grim.
No, and they'd keep her around too, because she's cute and young.
Yeah, she'd make out. She'd probably get a lot more scenes.
That's right. She'd come out just fine.
Well, if it isn't
The entrance of Ella Joyce.
how are you this
She's a
morning,
wonderful
Mr. Haff?
actress.
I'm all right. But I prefer Mr. Presley or Elvis. I keep telling you that. I
That's
don't go
right.
by
He
Sebastian
is
Haff,
Elvis now.
okay?
I think she was great. She comes from that sitcom background, and she was really game for this, I thought, too.
Yeah, what was interesting about Ella, though, is she brought a warmth to the role that really wasn't in the script.
It's easy to be the Nurse Ratchet character.
Yeah, she was very tough and really didn't give a damn in the story and the script, and yet you get the feeling that there's some kind as it progresses that there's a relationship developing between the two of them.
Right. Well, they would. She's got to lube him up every day, and he gets to know her pretty well, I would think.
I don't mind calling you Elvis.
Of course, this is the setup here,
Yeah.
where
You like to play sometime.
And it's one of the things that really attracted me to the story, of course. It's very classic theme. I mean, it's almost like from The Prince and the Pauper or Trading Places, where
Right.
you've got these, a character where he switches places with a double, and then all the mayhem that ensues.
right.
And what a great way to attach that to Elvis. I mean, it's wonderful.
Right, it is. Because everyone wants to keep him alive. To a lot of people, who go to Graceland, he's still alive.
Well, don't you think, Bruce, that part of the reason that there were so many sightings after Elvis's death had to do with the fact that his fans just couldn't accept the way
No,
that he
they
went
couldn't
out?
handle it. No. So he is still alive. I've got I had a grandmother who supposedly listened to Elvis music for his spiritual songs. That was her excuse. She liked his gospel numbers. And I'm like, yeah, right. That and his gyrating hips, baby. Now we have the first protracted kind of young Elvis sequence.
She was gone.
And what's cool is he's so, the way that he's lamenting his past here and where his predicament. I think this is one of the moments where it starts to, the audience, it fools him a little bit, that it starts to turn pretty serious. And he's at heart a very sympathetic character.
He's sympathetic, and he's also a little wistful.
Me dry.
He's a reminiscer to the good old days when things were bad.
So I took a little
Nacogdoches. Well, the good news is, Don and I, we get to go to Nacogdoches for the film festival finally.
That's right.
Now we got something to show at the Nacogdoches Film Festival, which is where Joe is from, Joe Lansdale,
The hometown of
which
it.
I don't know that everybody knows this. Now this was fun. Like, what was your frame speed coming up here?
I think it was-
you just slowed it down a little bit. Like,
It's like 60 frames a second.
yeah, it's enough to make it sort of liquid-like. It suspends the moment a little more.
But we just lucked out. Everybody was on their game. You can watch that scene over and over, and I invite you all who are watching it now to watch it a couple times and watch each one of the characters. They all hit their notes. They're guarding the president.
These guys are fun though. They got into it. Because we talked about who would open. Someone would always open a door. They, he would always look to them for some form of guidance. It must have been a nightmare. Him and this little pack of guys running around.
I just think it's cool, the concept that here's Elvis. He knows that he's going in here, and maybe the last time he's ever going to be Elvis.
He's ever going to be Elvis. That's right. But in his mind, now he's going to be Elvis. This fake stuff, all the Colonel Parker stuff, and the movies, and all that sort of stuff. That's not it. He wants the county fairs. He wants to get the Eye of the Tiger back.
Going to escape. And now he's found the perfect Yahoo.
Yeah, he's found Joe Numbnuts here to take his place.
This scene is your shining moment, Bruce. This is beautifully done. I just adore it.
We got to kiss the ring, man. That's what else. It doesn't even matter about the contract. Just kiss the ring.
That's beautiful.
That's right. Now it's time.
And then we got the beautiful tip-off here with the pie in the corner of his mouth.
Which I believe was scripted.
Yeah, it was,
Because it really is, actors can ad-lib and this and that, but some stuff that's a story point, you really can't. It's harder to ad-lib. It's a much trickier ad-lib, so you really need writers for that. To someone to go, hey, he still had a little piece of pie on the corner of his mouth. That's usually much more depth than the average actor would get into.
Well, and also the way you played it here, where you reach for the door and then...
Right, that he doesn't know the routine yet. He doesn't. He thinks he does because he's an Elvis impersonator, but
signed everything over to
And this suit was cool. I like this blue one. I think I only wore it a couple times, but that thing was a kicking suit.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
A little itchy though. No, but they were lined. Some of them, the legs were lined. This is good. I love that shirt. It was like this, like a barber's shirt almost.
Well, even in the trailer park, Elvis would be wearing polyester.
Oh,
with
yeah,
his,
he's
his
looking
white
good.
Boots.
I lost my coffee in a barbecue accident. This explosion cracks me up. It's the lowest budget. Here it is, this movie, and all of a sudden there's like this die-hard series of explosions. I mean, how was it rigged specifically?
Well, yeah, but the theory behind it is every one of those trailers has those propane tanks. It's like you light off one, and all of them are going to go off.
Oh, that's funny. I think it worked really well because you actually wanted that antenna to shoot off.
Yeah,
I mean, that
it was
wasn't
flying.
a
Oh,
fluke
yeah.
thing.
And you guys played it beautifully because you know that thing was loaded with explosives, and you were up close to it, and you came walking
Well,
away.
it's one of those things you don't really know what's going to happen, so you just go for it.
And not come back.
So back to the grim reality of the rest
Exactly.
home. Man,
He still hasn't even gotten out of bed yet. Just in his flashbacks.
these two beautiful babes laughing at him.
Sadly amused.
It is horrible. That is the underside of Bubba Ho-Tep is what do you do with old people? You know, a lot of and this is Elvis Presley. If Elvis can wind up in a rest home, so can you.
And JFK. Well, you know, and I think that's the core value of the movie. And certainly what attracted me to the story was the fact that you had these two old guys who basically had nothing.
Right.
And yet they were able to stand up and, you know, fight for their rest home and redeem themselves.
See, they're still laughing at him. Look at that. You evil women. This is a nice touch with the Purple Heart.
You know, and it's also true because Elvis always was enamored with heroics, and I think medals like that would be.
Well, he signed up, didn't he?
Well,
for
yeah,
a
of course, yeah, he served.
They serve his country.
No one here ever listened to me. Except this
Ossie
one
Davis,
guy.
Bruce.
Yes, the
What was
one-
it,
the
what was
one
it
and
like
only.
working with him
Oh,
from your
he's-
point of view.
He's hysterical. I mean, he's like a diplomat. It's like Kofi Annan is on the set. You know, I don't know, and he's such a believable guy that by having Ossie Davis, when he says he's Jack Kennedy, you really believe him. I mean, look, he's so earnest when he says his lines. I mean, which is great. You get a guy like Ossie, I do believe him. There's some actors that it's harder to believe him. Him, I don't have any problem, even though he's out of his gourd.
I'd also invite you to watch scenes again, and you just watch Ossie in between the lines. When you're talking, Bruce, he's in his character. He's focused. He'll be marching around with his suit on, and he's always.
Oh,
always
he'll look
focused.
around. He'll check things out, make sure no one's watching him. He's a good character. Something scary is going to happen.
I toyed with putting mummy footsteps there. You know, like that's
Oh,
supposed
yeah?
to be represent the mummy entering the rest home that night for a night of feasting.
I gotcha. More flashback dream sort of situation. This was out where? The Antelope Valley,
Yeah, actually
north of Los
Yeah,
Angeles.
just near Palmdale. A lot of deserts. out
Palmdale, Lancaster. There's kind of nothing out there. This is where it's the last suburb of Los Angeles before the massive desert hits.
there. So it stood in for Elvis traveling through the Southwest.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't have that much money. See, that was the idea, that showing that watch.
Right,
You know, his
right.
clock was busted, so he used a watch, and you know, he's just living a normal life. And that, I think, you know, this actually, when the script was written, this was all real time as part of that previous flashback, but we then moved it and made it a dream sequence. And I thought it really worked in the way that it showed that Elvis was tortured by this fact that he was somebody and nobody gave a damn anymore.
Well, what's weird is when he was somebody, he didn't want to be somebody. Now that he's nobody, he wants to be somebody. So there's a message in there somewhere. Now, this is another case where you were saddled with the fact that there was no Elvis music. You know, you're not going to get Love Me Tender
Oh,
or
it
something like
would have
that.
cost half our budget to get
Yeah.
one
Oh,
song.
I can only imagine. So it was probably an interesting musical thing
Well, it was
for Brian and other people, you know.
Well, it wasn't Brian. Certainly, you know, made that part of it happen. But we designed it, Bruce, as you've probably forgotten. But what we did is we went back, and we did sort of a modular approach to it, where
Yeah.
we did
Right.
different
A little bit
sections
here, a
of-
little bit there.
of typical Elvis. Number one is we
Yeah.
wanted him to come in with to his usual theme entrance. Then we wanted to do some of
Right.
the
Vamping
strobe,
with the guys.
yeah, and then some strobe light thing, which he
Right.
did, and then of course the handing out the scarves to the
Sure.
to
Sure.
the
It's,
gals.
it's everything he did around his songs.
Yeah, which was a lot actually, and that's
Yeah, it
what made
was.
Elvis so great.
It
And you
was.
didn't really need the song.
Yeah, during concerts, he would kiss those chicks for like 10 minutes.
Oh yeah.
You know, he'd get off the stage and walk around. What a deal. Hey, here's the infamous bedpan.
Yeah, one of the critics said it was a movie with the fastest bedpan in the West.
Oh, yeah?
All right, that's it. This time I'll make it. No more piss or crap in the bed.
Of course, the challenge with the costume here was not show Elvis's false butt crack, you know? Because it was to show his foam butt crack.
Well, this is your first time out of
Yeah,
bed.
first time walking. He's having a little bit of a tough time here. I love that old heater. That's a great sound that you use. It goes, it's a great old-fashioned sound.
Yeah, well, sound just makes the movies. I mean, it's if you get a perfect little sound, it's
I think the atmosphere for movies like this, the sound is probably almost 50%. The visuals are important, but things that you hear can set the mood, and they help tell a little story that something is over here or a guy is further down here.
Yeah, well, a lot of it's unnoticed by the casual moviegoer, but certainly those people like the ones who are listening with us who really care about films and watch them a couple times, you notice a lot of the effort that goes into these soundtracks, because believe me, it took months and months and months to get this the track made.
And this is where Carrie's going to have his shining moment. This is the bug sequence.
Yeah, we spent days shooting all of these scenes, getting that thing to fly.
Yeah.
There's scenes coming up where you actually attach the bug to the front of the camera and then would chase you around the room. Remember that, Bruce?
They did a lot of variations of that. Yeah, a lot of wild stuff.
I like the fact that when he hits the deck, he's almost like a turtle that's been, with that big fat gut. It's really something to turn himself.
the description in the script and maybe in the original story, there was one point near the end of the movie where he's on his back, and it really is described. He's like a turtle. Can't get back up once he's down.
One of the initial concepts which I loved in this scene, though, was the idea that we would increase the threat level from this bug, because at first you just think it's crawling around, but then the fact that the thing can fly.
Yeah, exactly. Because you think you can handle it on one level, and then it starts to fly.
See, I went to Hawaii one year, and they had these cockroaches that were unkillable there, and they would actually hang on the wall, and then they would fly at you, which was a little bit of the inspiration
Horrible.
for
For
this scene.
the first Evil Dead, we had Madagascar cockroaches that would hiss at you.
Oh, wow.
They were like 4 inches long.
See, once again, that sound really gives the guy some
But it sounds like there's
personality.
some verbal stuff in there, too. Because
Yeah.
it sounds like it's screaming at times.
Yeah, no, there's not. The
Like
sound
here.
editor actually did some of that stuff.
Did he?
Yeah.
And you speed it up, make it sound like chipmunky? You six-legged bastard. Trick here was to put a light inside of that thing so you could
show-
just barely see it. I remember
It's
there
like
was it was a light stick or something.
Yeah.
One of those emergency light sticks.
In fact, the thing's just hanging in there. It's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
creepy. And we got all the instruments of bug destruction.
Oh, yeah. You got to kill the bug, man.
This is actually just to clear up any confusion. This is a scarab beetle.
Yes.
And initially, my plan was that the scarab beetles would travel wherever the mummy was. We didn't quite have the budget to be able to pull it off. But when the mummy's in the hallway, we're going to have the scarab beetles sort of following along with him, or maybe
Right,
climbing on his clothing.
He's sort of the symbol of it because you've got these flashbacks to the Bubba Ho-Tep, to the Ho-Tep days where you had a little shot of the beetle.
Yeah.
So they're sort of part of the Egyptian folklore.
Beautifully played, Bruce.
Oh, you got to kill those bugs. This is sad.
Is anybody out here?
Of course, there's no one there.
I think we got some major bug problems in this place, man.
No kidding.
One of the concepts was that I think this was in Joe's story, was the fact that at night all the administrators they're
they're gone.
closed. They don't.
They're gone.
There's nobody
Yeah.
there. If anything happened in the night, they deal with it in the morning.
That's right. They'll come and clean up the mess in the morning. Of course, that's when Bubba Ho-Tep walks. These hallways were terrific, though. They were really long hallways.
Yeah, we were able to do 3 hallways actually, so it wasn't the old thing of using the same hallway once over and over
Sure, you
again.
actually had some choices. And then the rooms, were they that big, or did you have to punch out walls, or because they were existing rooms?
Yeah, they were huge rooms, and we were able to. We had 2 of them.
This is my favorite sequence. Is that it's, there's this one room that's decorated as the the Oval Office, which is just a great idea.
Well, the backstory there was that, or the way that I perceived it was that Jack Ossie was, maybe a Kennedy conspiracist, and that he had followed all of that stuff and maybe gone off the deep end and assumed the character.
Which makes sense. Makes a lot of sense for the character, and I think it's a really helpful thing for people who are set dressing, because sometimes, they'll go, I'll put up a vase of flowers or whatever, but here you give them something they can specifically work on, like the photos of, Jack Ruby and guys like that. I really loved it. And what's amazing, though, here is that he does have the incision.
Mr. Kennedy,
So he had some kind of brain surgery, and being into the Kennedy conspiracy, he figured that maybe he was Kennedy. I don't know. That was the backstory.
It makes sense to me. I believe it.
No shit.
I think these are one of the earlier scenes with him, and I remember the first day of shooting. It's like, okay, Ossie, you're face down on the floor over here, and he's not a young man.
You see him go back in the hole.
It's funny. We started with him on the floor, and we ended with him on the dirt, fighting the mummy.
Yeah, freezing outside.
So you got to give Ossie credit for putting up with us.
He was very game, I have to say. I mean, he was never really, nothing was, oh, I got a problem with this or I can't do that. He just went for it.
Somebody to finish me off. I think maybe it was Johnson himself. Real ugly.
Real ugly. Real goddamn ugly. He's so ugly, he offends him.
That ain't gonna stop him.
That's not going to stop him. That's how good the mummy is. I like the little whispering. That's a nice thing of it's the hint of the mummy.
And it's also the theory was that there's all the souls that the mummy sucks. He's collecting them, and so maybe we're hearing them. This little bit of I
Very well-known guest star here.
Yeah, Reggie Bannister from the Phantasm series, and we got Bruce and Reggie together, and I didn't have much for this scene. I wanted to put Reggie in the film, and I said, well, you guys will talk about the bug. And the two of you came up with this thing entirely on your own about, ichthyologist.
Yeah, I'm not some ichthyologist.
Bugs. Well, Mr. Haff.
Because he's always interviewing. The administrators are always asking us
Yeah,
questions.
just use big damn bugs, right? The size of my fist, size of a peanut butter banana sandwich, man.
That's a great line, Bruce.
Well, the funny thing is that last line, what do I care? I got a growth in my pecker. You never heard it in theaters.
No, you can't because they're laughing at the,
Well, they're
the
looking at-
sandwich.
Which to me seemed like a logical unit of measuring. You measure it based on the size of a sandwich. Now, this was also on the grounds, the exterior, yet the inside is a different
Building.
building.
Yeah.
So, sorry, folks, it's fake.
Yeah, but we were working on a modest budget. We were able to get a crane. We brought it out for one day and did all these crane shots at the beginning of the film to try to, expand the value,
The massive budget of it. Here's the penis scene.
which we never show.
No, thankfully.
But I think we get the effect, and a lot of it, some of it's sound effects because the good goopy
Oh,
sounds.
the gooey sound effects were very helpful.
But it's
I
also
like the look on her face too, though. It's like she's going to do a job that she hates to do, but she approaches it in a very professional manner. She looks like she's been sucking lemons.
Yeah.
A doll like this handling me without warmth or emotion. 20 years ago, just 20, man. I could have made.
Now, looking at this, I'm wondering how did we get an R rating for this scene? I know it was a little.
Well, because it's not graphic. I
That's
think
true.
it's all just implied.
Do the trick. Corticosteroid.
And because it's medical, that's why.
Should heal.
It's medically based.
Stop the pus.
Stop the pus.
Where'd my youth go?
There's more of his
Why didn't
lamentations
fame
now.
hold off old age and
It's
death?
funny. It's very serious stuff. It's yet that watching this with an audience, they laugh during this, but that he would during this process that he'd be worrying about his regrets.
Oh, that he's not even there. He's 1,000 miles away mentally. Because you lubing your penis, it's just a normal everyday thing. But see, now he's getting the hint. He's starting to live again. He's starting to walk again. He's moving around. He's got his emotions, and of course, we have this. The result.
Well, this is the turning point in the movie, actually.
That's true.
Elvis has got his mojo back.
It could be. It's almost like the end of Act 1.
Yeah.
It's that this is the point of no return. Elvis literally gets his mojo back. Well, Don, things are looking up.
And he didn't even need any Viagra.
No. There was no Viagra in his day.
Take a cold shower, Mr. Haff.
Thank God.
There have been 2 presidential elections since I had a boner like that one.
That's a good line.
What day
I was enjoying that
And I
line.
realized what
2
day.
presidential
I was
elections.
thinking about something that interested me. Not my next meal.
So now he's starting to live again. He's
I've been given a dose of
he's
life.
got a hint of life again, a taste of it.
You get in there with me, I'll take that shirt.
I'll say now he's starting to be a crass old man.
Come on now.
Well, now there are possibilities in his life where before there were none.
That's true. Hey, yeah, this place could be a whole new ballgame here. It could be easy pickings here at the
A
restaurant.
lot of gals,
Got to get that last little peek there.
This was beautifully done. Totally unscripted. Bruce came up with all of this stuff, the looking at it,
Well, he's
and
proud.
the hands behind his.
He's proud of
Yeah.
his accomplishment. I love this because you actually heard. I think you can hear it on the DVD. it's like when you turn it on, there's a little air in the machine.
There's a pump. It's a pump
Yeah.
organ. Yeah.
When I first heard that, I went, is that a little air thing going on? And it's got the most depressing. Did Brian do this background music too?
Yes, he did. Yes.
I mean, it's horrible. It's so depressing. And you can hear there's the occasional fart that comes squeezing out. It's just awful.
Well, imagine
Now, what's his background?
That's Larry Pinnell. He's been a great actor, done a lot of great roles. He played Dash Riprock in the Beverly Hillbillies.
I love that.
Some of the great Outer Limits he was in. Wonderful actor, and a lot of westerns. And I was really intent on finding somebody who had a little credibility in the western area to play.
I think it was perfect because the guy, he's still in amazing shape. You'll see later when he comes out and he's shooting at him.
Larry's a stud.
He really is.
And that's what it's going to take to fight this mummy. Is everybody's going to have to bring it on.
That's right. Now, of course, these two guys are making the connection here. They're not official partners yet. Elvis is sleeping again. It's funny, the makeup for this, because of the lighting, it actually doesn't look like I have all that much on for certain sequences, depending on how it's shot and lit.
Now, this is one of the other themes that I added to Joe's story, which was some of the regrets regarding his wife and his daughter. And I thought that this could be a really haunting thing, the fact that, the real Elvis did die when his daughter was 9 years old. And I imagine if he still was alive, he'd be thinking about that a lot.
I would think so, too. That's good. It's kind of a weird dimension to it. I like how she went in and out at the doorway, too. Of course, there's that sound again. It's good. Now you got the footsteps, too, right?
What's that?
The whispering and the...
Well, the cowboy boots are an integral part of the mummy.
You got a good sound for them, too. The good foley of the boots, the good click, clack. That's real important, because boots are boots. There's only one sound that boots make.
I don't think it's safe if you go back to sleeping.
For Christ's sake, man, just tell the
I think this is about as far out as the JFK character gets in the movie. I mean, when I watch the scene, I think that, boy, he is really far gone. Yet it also, the way that you guys played this and the way that it turns, and even though he's acting like a lunatic here, and yet by the end of the scene, the two of you guys have bonded. And you find that he's the only guy who actually believes that you are Elvis.
Which is why I think they become pals. He's the only one who isn't laughing at him or making fun of him. I like this how serious he goes, I know you're Elvis. Listen here. It's like he's through playing around here. He's got some crazy ideas, but he knows that he's Elvis.
But I thought about that.
This is what kills me. This is where the sincerity of Ossie Davis comes in. It's like him giving advice to a young person or something. He says such earnestness.
Assure me you had not.
We also had some nice subtle touches in the wardrobe there, because even though he's out wandering the halls, Elvis, of course, would go out in his robe, but JFK would wear his suit jacket.
Yeah, he's got to look good, too. He's very presidential.
Now look, man, I had nothing to do with Dallas. And I knew neither Lee Harvey Oswald.
I love the fact that he has to look him in the eye and tell him that before they can be buddies.
May I call you Elvis instead of Sebastian?
You may.
Excellent. You wear glasses to read?
Well, I wear glasses when I really want to see.
Get 'em.
Get him and let's get going.
Just want to say one last thing about this. The walls there, we had a design issue, how grimy we would go, and Danny Vecchione came up with this idea of putting that layer of plaster, really grungy, and I like the way that turned out.
It was like a wash, wasn't it? That caught the ripples in the wall and the texture in the wall, and
the junk, yeah.
Yeah, horrible. Yeah, well, he did a good job because it was a thoroughly depressing place. This is what kills me, is that the mummy, this is where Joe hits sort of a good absurd point, that the mummy has time on his hands too, just like a person, and and will come in and like write stuff down on the walls, and
That's it.
There's a scene there, Bruce, that we could have shot with that mummy in there writing those hieroglyphics in the bathroom. It would have been a hoot. Could have done it in just a cut of his hand, scratching it, and then going for the toilet paper, and then
That's right. And is that just the art department just put that on there?
Yeah, that was Justin Zaharczak, who also created the great stuff in Ossie's bedroom of the JFK, the Dealey Plaza diorama.
Yeah, I love the fact that he recreated the Dealey Plaza.
and
That
the
one
little
cracked me up.
mini Oswald action figure.
Thank you.
I copied this down yesterday.
This is pretty funny too, because he has the usual complaint of like a person at a rest home. I came in here because they didn't clean up my room. You know, I like that these guys are just whinging about the rest home.
Line translates roughly.
Well, it's funny that in the rest home environment, so much of your life is revolving around your bowel habits.
Yeah, your basic functions, exactly. But yet also a lot of these guys, you know, when you're retired, you've got to come up with a hobby. So it's like his was researching these. He's got nothing but time to do research.
Well, a lot of people also know that Elvis was a great fan of the occult and the supernatural, and he also had collections of books about that stuff. And that's why this scene works so nicely, because as soon as JFK starts to talk about the manifestation of the mummy and all this stuff and sucking souls, Elvis knows about that kind of thing.
And he gets into it. He's definitely paying attention, and he's into it because he believes it. Because he had was he a black belt in karate? He was into, the black arts, karate. I don't know how far he got into it.
About stolen soul movies in the back.
I love that there's some excellent movie reviews in the back. I like this scene because it's this has a little different flavor. It's a little more of a legitimate, creepy horror film.
This is a scene that was added during editing, where we felt we needed to establish the mummy entering the rest home and that he was out lurking, and came up with the idea of doing a little bit between Ella Joyce and Reggie Bannister out here where she could have a close encounter of the mummy, but not actually.
Not too close.
Yeah. Now later on, you're going to get a chance to see when the door opens where the mummy's hiding out there, and if you look real close, there is another rest home resident that has been done in by the mummy.
Right, that he's stepping over.
Yeah.
And coming out. Return of Reggie.
Yeah, Reggie's a great actor. He's been in every one of my movies except for one, the Beastmaster. And,
why didn't you put him in that?
I don't know. I didn't. But after that, the experience of making that movie,
Maybe you should have.
I realized that from then on, I would not make another film without Reggie Bannister. He's
good for Reggie.
my good luck charm.
And now, how did you first meet Reggie?
On the first film I ever did, it was called Jim the World's Greatest many years ago, which also co-starred Angus Scrimm, who both of them went on to work in the Phantasm films. And Reggie lived down in Long Beach, California, where I come from. And a friend of mine had told me about this cool actor, guitarist, and I went out to this bar where he was performing. I was 18, and he got me a couple beers, and we were pals for life after that.
Wow. And now Ella, how did she come about? Because obviously she had worked a lot and been in sitcoms and things like that.
Yeah, I didn't really know much of her work, and I met her in a casting audition, and she was just so wonderful about it, playing the role. It was a little, I wasn't familiar with the Rock television series.
Sure.
And I cast Ella. I hadn't really seen the show, and we cast Ella. I was really excited to have her in the film, and then somebody said, "Oh, she played a nurse in Rock." And I go, "What?"
Oh no!
And I went and I tracked down a Rock, and I saw that she, was wearing a nurse's outfit, and I thought,
I never made
God.
that connection either.
I'm typecasting her, but she's so wonderful in the role. There's just no way I was gonna not keep her.
Now this book with the drawings, was that the art department did that?
Yeah, once again, that's it was spearheaded by Justin Zaharczak and his pal Dave, but also had some contribution. We actually went out to every artist who was working on the film, and David Hartman contributed 2 of the key art pieces also that Justin took all of the stuff, cobbled it together, and
Would you like a ding dong?
put it there. Don't if you freeze frame the DVD though, don't read any of the text because it's ridiculous stuff.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, you know what? They come up with weird things.
Oh, it's all bogus stuff, yeah. Because they figure you're only going to be on this for a few seconds, but they forgot the DVD crowd. They could go, they could go frame by frame.
This actually comes from my wife's grandfather had a candy drawer, and she used to always talk about how he had this loaded candy drawer
Are you kidding?
Yeah, and so when I...
Then did he keep Baby Ruths in it?
Oh, it was stacked with all kinds of good stuff. And I always liked Baby Ruths.
Don't have much fire for life. You know a place like that?
Oh, man, if souls were fires, it couldn't burn much lower than in here.
Exactamundo. What we have here at Shady Rest is an Egyptian soul sucker of some sort. You know, a mummy hiding out, coming in here, feeding on the sleeping. It's perfect, you see? Now, we're small souls, so we can't provide him much. But if that thing comes back 2 or 3 times in a row and wraps his lips around some elder's arsehole, that elder...
Oh, this is the best thing about getting Ossie Davis. Wraps his lips around some elder's asshole. I mean, he's so dignified. To hear him say lines like that just kills me. Now, here's our stud.
Now, if you crank up the gain on your TV, you'll see that the mummy's actually trying to pull the guy's pants down to suck his soul. There it is.
Horrible.
It's a horrible way to go. And that's why none of these guys they refuse to accept they're going out that way. And they're going to fight it to the death.
Well, wouldn't you?
I would.
And with new people coming in here all the time, he can keep this up forever.
Right. So this is the big revelation. This is the fact that they're kind of connecting. This really is this ideal feeding ground for a mummy.
Absolutely.
And if you think of it, a mummy is a perfect creature to pit up against 2 old guys because they're all moving at the same speed. You know, Bubba Slow Step is what I call him. You know, and these guys is perfect because, you know, they're not going to be karate chopping them or doing any Xena backflips or anything.
Well, that was the problem with the original Universal mummy. Is you'd always have to have the actress would scream and faint when the mummy goes because she could walk away from
Right,
him.
because she could outrun him. She had to faint. That's a good one.
What I like about this scene, though, Bruce, is the way that Elvis is happy to sit and talk about this whole conceptually, academically with Jack, and
like
you know,
nobody
mummy's-
crap.
all
Yeah,
this stuff.
It's philosophical.
But then when push comes to shove, and Ossie gets all excited, the mummy's outside the door. Elvis doesn't believe it. There's no mummy. You know, he's a skeptic.
Right, that's true. He's happy to talk about all of it, but it's not really there.
Like anybody else when it comes to taking a dump.
You have a thing of actors urinating in this movie. What's going on with that?
Like I told you, it's all about the bodily functions,
Yeah,
Bruce.
it's all in the script,
Yeah.
though, right?
Well, yeah, in an old folks' home, it's bodily functions.
Yeah, you're having a good day if you can do that, I guess. Okay, here it comes now.
I also like the way that Jack is so protective of Elvis here.
Mm-hmm.
No. Don't go out in the hall.
That's right, man. I'm not asleep.
Well, that don't mean he won't hurt you.
That's right. He's still dangerous.
My ass. There isn't any mummy from Egypt.
So this is the first official kind of encounter with Bubba.
Nice knowing you, Elvis.
He's got the weirdest look on his face. Watch Ossie when he backs up into this corner.
Oh, he knows what he's up against.
No, but he's got this real awful dread on his face, but in a really subtle way.
Yeah.
He just has his eyes are set.
You know, he's going to use that cane. If
I
he has
know,
to.
I know. But that's what's so great about having Ossie Davis is you need him during a hokey sequence to help you.
Oh, he's a great actor.
Yeah, he is.
Brings reality to ridiculousness.
Right. This is fun. I like that effect behind the mummy, the lighting effect. What was that? Is it just something you rent for $10 a day and it's a disco thing? Or?
Well, it is actually a beautiful lighting effect put together by Gary, the gaffer, and Adam, the DP. But the conceptually here is, when you're working with mummies...
And this is what I'm talking about here,
yeah,
coming up.
In rubber costumes, you don't want to front light them. And so we were looking for any
Right.
kind of an excuse. And we came up with this concept that whenever he was near electricity, that everything would go haywire. So we could have flashing.
It's good because you don't hold on him that long. You get flashes of him. He's backlit here, so you see. Because Bob was a really skinny kind of guy.
Yeah, he was. He actually dieted for the role, if you can believe it.
Did he really?
Yeah, Bob's, actually started as a stuntman. I met him working on the Phantasm films. He did the most ultimate crash stunt with a hearse. He risked his life for that, and he played a character in Phantasm 4. And then he's by nature kind of a slim guy, and I thought he would be perfect to play Bubba Ho-Tep.
Oh, I think it makes sense. I like all these bizarre flashbacks. Now, where did you shoot all this studio stuff here?
In a studio.
Did you? Oh, okay. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
But where? Like just in Los Angeles somewhere?
Yeah, we rented a whole bunch of Egyptian props just one day. We got some good friends of my sons, Naveed and Omid, to come out and be Egyptian guards.
Oh,
and,
really?
and we put together this little Egyptian sequence.
Now, did you shoot that on a different stock? The color looks weird. It's always saturated. It's real saturated.
Yeah, you got it. It was also it was processed. It's called cross process, where the negative it's processed in a reversal fashion. So it just messes with the colors, and you get
Right.
something
It makes
totally
it look
different.
completely different from the rest of the movie, which is a good idea.
But it's very hard to control. I mean, the greens will go wilder that you can't know what's going to happen until you see it.
Which is probably okay. I mean, because you're looking for a weird.
Well,
look.
it's one of the cool things about working with film is that you shoot the stuff, and then 2 or 3 days later you get to see what it is.
Yeah.
And that's one of the advantages of film, I think.
Man, I'll tell you, I couldn't run around in a T-shirt at that guy's age, and look at him.
Oh yeah, he's ripped.
Yeah, it's amazing. But that's the hilarious thing about actors in Los Angeles. You got guys who are who should be living in rest homes now, and this guy he's still working it.
Yeah, he is.
I thought he was really good though.
Yeah, well, once again, just like Elvis and like JFK, the Kemosabe character, man, he was into that role.
He was into that role.
There was no deviating from it.
My favorite part was spinning those guns. He spun those little suckers so well. That was a nice touch, dissolving them into. It was a great, weird. Was that a planned thing, or did you just sort of fool around?
Well,
with that?
it was created in the editing. I think it was an idea from.
You just did it dissolve later
the
into
editor.
the take.
Yeah, it was trying to show a little time passage,
Right.
so it didn't happen just immediately. That took away a while for them to show up.
How long was the editing process on this movie?
Oh,
It was a while.
we spent about a year, and it was quite a thing. And this is a moment I always liked, was the fact that she just so casually unmasks the Lone Ranger, and those guys don't give a damn. And I think that I always,
Right, because that was one of the biggest deals in the whole Lone Ranger.
Yeah,
theory,
who was and they just toss it off. I mean, and that's that's the tragedy of this whole rest home thing that they're fighting. And this is a nice little set piece. Everybody's on their game. We got Daniel Schweiger, and we got Linda Flammer, who's playing the nurse there. We got Ossie. Everybody's the way you guys turn that look. We got Sienna Okada, and she's playing the nurse, and Reggie. Everybody's into their own thing, and we did like 4 or 5 takes, and on one of them, everybody just hit the notes perfectly.
Right. We lied.
We lied.
I like how we always got hassled by the hospital administrators, because we're always around where people are dying, but it's like, what are we going to do with these 2 old guys? See, now he's keeping it for his mojo.
Yeah, that's a meaningful bit, that mask.
This will be a, you'll see that mask again later in the movie.
And once again, the death of their pal, it sort of cements the friendship between these guys. And,
Yeah.
We've really got a team developing here. Quite a team.
It's grumpy old Ghostbusters is what it is. Go get 'em, boys. I like how every time this comes back, this is the 3rd body, and I think things work good in groups of 3s.
Yeah.
Gags, I think, work good in groups of 3s. He always did down, down, down. He always let it into, he sort of pre-lapped the music each time, which was a real nice touch.
Yeah, it's sort of a take on almost like a Hank Williams type of.
Yeah.
But it could also be something that's in the radio of that hearse that they're listening to.
Yeah, it's very twangy.
Nonchalant.
The idiots. These are the real idiots now.
And this is a great moment by Dan Roebuck there. I love that.
It's good. He did a good job of that. Elvis gets outside for the first time here. What is it? 98 minutes into the movie. This is the sort of safari jacket that Shelley came up with, Shelley K, and where it won't fit over his fat, so he has to kind of hike it up. I like that. The king of rock and roll can't even put his, he can't even get his shirt on.
Well, you can tell he's ready for some action here today.
He's sniffing flowers. He's feeling good. He's feeling stronger. He doesn't need quite as much help.
Now, this scene provoked a lot of response from different people. I personally think it's great and right on, because Elvis has abused so much from these people, treating him like a baby, lubricating him, just treating him like nothing, and condescending. And here his chance to tell her off, and put her in his place and be an adult. Yet a lot of people, when they saw this scene, and I show it in the editing, they'd say, "Oh, he's so mean to the nurse. She's so nice. How could he do that?" Yet this is his moment of.
Well, he's asserting his independence through the whole movie. It's all part of Elvis getting his mojo back. Don't tell me where to go. I'll lube my own crankshaft.
In that little moment there where he just goes, "Yeah, I told her."
I told her what's up. Meanwhile, you guys got a great little sound effect in here. on the door squeak with his finger. I really enjoy this right here.
The guy who created the Foley, his
Here we
name was
go.
Eric. And
It's so subtle, but it's so perfect.
we spent a lot of time on the Foley, which is where you create those little specialty soundtracks. One of the other ones, if you go back to the bedroom, Elvis's bedroom scene, we have the most beautiful creaky spring in his
Spring
mattress.
creak, yeah.
And those little things just add up so much.
And what's funny is you if they don't stick out, you just think that his bed has a creaky spring, whereas in reality, it probably had no sound at all.
It didn't. And that
Because
was
sound guys, when you're shooting, they hate that.
Yeah.
The location sound guys, they want everything quiet. I remember the Coen brothers were filming with a typewriter one time that Jennifer Jason Leigh was using in the Hudsucker Proxy. They made it move back and forth electronically so that she didn't have to go clack, clack, clack. So, you can go to great extremes, and then filmmakers put the noise back in later.
That's how it's done. It's built up from the ground up. I mean,
Now, was this at the state park?
yeah, the Malibu Creek State Park.
Malibu Creek State Park, where they shot
Southern
MASH, notably.
Yes. And there's the bridge. The only place we could find standing water or flowing water in a bridge.
in Los Angeles.
Anywhere in a 100-mile radius.
That's right.
So
there are no rivers in Los Angeles. The L.A. River has concrete on the bottom of it.
But there's a little confusion here, because what the purpose of this scene is, Elvis comes down here and he's trying to find, reasons as to where the mummy came from, putting the clues together. And one of the clues was the fact that the bus had gone off the bridge and it's theoretically down there in the water, so we had to show it. Now, the first time we shot this scene, we just shot a bus bumper, which I thought would be enough to explain it. And you'll see that first, the bus bumper, but it didn't work. People are going, what is that thing? That makes no sense at all.
Right, just some silver object.
So the last shot, there it is in the movie. I shot that in my backyard with my son. We got that little thing. We got a wading pool because we needed
Oh, you're kidding? You got a kiddie pool?
Kiddie pool, put some mud and dirt in there just to make a shot of the license so we would, cement that there was,
It
that was a
worked really
bus.
well, I thought. Yeah, so it says bus. It just says bus.
I just had to hit him over the head with it.
Yeah. Now, where was that old bus? Because that's a cool old bus. Did you rent that?
Yeah, it was a rental bus. I think it was on one of the last week of shooting they brought this thing out. It was a just beautifully restored 1950s bus.
Well, that's the cool thing about shooting in Los Angeles. You can pick up the phone and kind of get anything there. Old cars. All these actors live in Los Angeles. It really is. That's why you shoot there. And funny thing is, Don, for such the modest budget that Bubba has, it's shot in Los Angeles.
Yeah,
big budget movies are not even shot in Los Angeles anymore.
Well, it's really a challenge in terms of finding your location. So because you don't want to use locations that are used in episodic TV. But I like to spend a lot of time searching them out and hunting them out, and we found some good ones. I think this is some of the greatest acting in the movie, I'll tell you, Bruce, because there's this moment coming up there where you pull that lubrication stuff out and use it. It's actually painful to watch.
Well, I remember sitting in, because I've seen this with audiences a bunch, and you get that point where they're going, "Oh my God, I can't believe that you're just sitting there while this guy is just he's lubing his crankshaft on this bed, lamenting in the past,
But it's like having, if you have a really serious sunburn or some kind of, a cut and you have to put some kind of salve on it, you get this reaction out of thing like the pain on your face and the little gasp that you make. It always hurts.
Now, I have to say, the lighting that Adam did here is what I would call ideal for Elvis. It's backlit. He's lit a little bit in the front, but you'll never see any edges or anything. I think he really came into his own, throughout the course of this movie of lighting Elvis. It's tough. It's a tough job.
Yeah. Well, you were right in terms of making that, makeup read that, of course, K&B Effects created.
Right.
Those wonderful guys, Bob Kurtzman and Howard Berger and Greg Nicotero, who really signed on to help us on this film, really based on, my friendship with them from Phantasm 2, where they'd worked as assistants. And, of course, they worked with you, Bruce.
Oh, all the time. They go back to
Dead
Evil
2.
Dead 2 on,
Yeah.
forward. So we've known the K&B guys for a long time. So they were a very logical choice.
Now, of course, we couldn't actually get any trailers from Elvis movies. We'd never
This
be
is
able
the
to afford
best, Don, I have to say, this is the most clever use of stock footage. Because you go, yeah, there's a guy in he's a leather jacket. Sure, that's Elvis. You see him from behind punching guys.
It's actually some some French music video from the 60s.
Oh, really? And you just, see, it looks like Elvis. That could be him. And you got chicks in bikinis.
Pictures, man. Every single one.
Every single one. And then, Don, you cut my one line here. Then after a beat, he goes, "Sup, clam bake."
Now I realize I never had any pride. And much of how life had treated me had been good, and the bulk of the bad was my own damn fault.
And then this is a legitimate lament where it's funny. Some people in the audience, you see them going like this. They're nodding their heads because they're going, yeah, he should have gotten rid of the colonel. This is where the real diehard fans come out.
Only I had treated Priscilla right.
Well, they also realized that Elvis had so much potential. You know, a lot of people talked about him, you know, not being a terrible actor. You know, he probably, if he would have had the opportunities that, say, Sinatra did, he could have made the transition to an Academy Award-winning actor. But unfortunately, he was forced into a lot of these teen movies.
Yeah, very silly, insipid kind of movies. That's my favorite. That was a good line. The woman who calls herself my niece. It's a very subtle a hint that he just doesn't believe her either.
Mommy,
Well, you know something about him?
I know plenty.
I like it. He's in his nice suit here. Nice presidential suit. He's been out.
On loan from the
Well, and if you take a hard look at this folder that he hands to you, Bruce, I don't know if you saw, but it has a big letter M on it for his filing system, and then Mummy next to it. So he's, you know, in his presidential library.
He's very organized. Yeah, the mummy goes in the M.
when it got to Texas, it was stolen.
Stolen.
I like this. This is sort of the Columbo section of the movie. You know, it's Elvis she wrote.
Well, there's a funky logic to this entire thing. I mean, if you
Yeah.
go through by the numbers, there's a
That's
legitimate
right.
reason.
All right. They were exhibiting the mummy. It was here on exhibit. Some guys stole it. Horrible storm. Got washed away behind the rest home. Mummy comes out, sucks on the souls of the old people's home. It's
Beautiful.
perfect. Happens every day.
The only thing I still am sad about is that we didn't have the budget, because the one thing that I'd always wanted to do was to flash some scenes in there of the mummy crawling out of the sarcophagus in the, you know, underwater.
While they were
Could
talking.
have been like something out of the Creature from the
Oh, that'd be
Black
really
Lagoon,
cool. Yeah,
but-
of it coming back and maybe finding a hat and you
Yeah.
know how it. Well, the funny thing, I want to mention those boots though. The boots of the mummy, the boots and the cowboy hat, and I never really thought of it one way or the other until I think you explained it that the mummy's just trying to fit in. That he figures he's in the South. He better wear like cowboy outfit, you know, that way no one will recognize him. So he's a very clever dummy or mummy.
You know, we actually had shot a couple scenes, which hopefully we'll get into deleted sequences, of Bob Ivy in the character of the driver, wearing a clean new shirt and jeans and new boots. And he was like the driver of the bus. So the theory being that the mummy crawled out, found the corpse of the driver, and pulled the clothes off of him.
I got you.
One of those subtle touches that
Right.
no one would ever know now.
He's got the perverted.
He's so focused in this scene. Watch the way he exits this scene, Ossie Davis. This is great acting. Look at that. Got to get back to business.
That's right. Enough of this pontificating. Elvis isn't done ruminating now.
But that's okay, because this is one of those scenes
Well, this is pivotal. This is where this is technically now where the hunted becomes the hunter. This is the classic
right,
reversal in storytelling where, you know, the people who are being pursued now go, wait a minute, we're going to go take out this mummy.
Well, and also beautifully tied into Elvis, because he's had it up to there, because it's not only is it a mummy, but it's a foreign mummy.
It's a foreign mummy.
A graffiti-writing mummy.
Graffiti-writing, soul-sucking son of a bitch in an oversized cowboy hat and boots. Take my friend's souls and shit them down the visitor's toilet.
He's had enough.
This is it.
And he did always want to be a hero, Elvis. You know, with that FBI thing, you know,
Yeah.
with Nixon. And that's the beauty of Joe's story right here in this moment. It crystallized all his regrets. You know, this gives him his chance to turn away from what, you know, betrayed him and to be what he wanted to be.
Now he can step up. Well, this is where these guys have both graduated now. They're functioning human beings again. Elvis is moving around again. He's ready to go. He's got a partner. I love this. He's sitting waiting by the red phone.
Well, that's the hotline.
It's the hotline.
JFK had that hotline to the Kremlin. You know, that's where it came from.
The only thing you didn't have was the diddly diddly diddly
Oh.
diddly diddly. It's like that was the Spectre phone.
And let me paraphrase one of my own. Let's take care of business.
Take care of business, baby. TCB.
Just what are you getting at, Elvis?
He didn't like the fact that he's using his lines either. I kind of like that. You're taking my best lines.
All right.
Which to me that's the end of Act 2.
Yes.
Now it's Act 3 plays out. Now you resolve the issue of the mummy. This is where all the budget comes in now, Don.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is where the huge explosions are, and this is where it all kicks out.
And all the great props. And I've now come to learn, Bruce, that you are one of the masters of working with props.
Well, I'll tell you some prop stories once he gets completely rigged up, because we've got a walker, a sprayer, the bottles, scissors, matches, cigars, his mojo bag that's full of crap.
And you got to work it all, and you did
Yeah.
it beautifully.
Well, thank God for editing is all I can say. So now he's got now we reintroduce the white, the ultimate Elvis jumpsuit, because it really is the white. That's the Hawaii comeback suit.
And then JFK is going to match him
he's
with a
got
nice
his own.
charcoal suit
Ni-
and nice shoes.
and a nice pair of shoes, exactly. Because he's got to look good. Both these guys have to look good. They're very image conscious, both
Well,
of these guys.
Bruce, they were studs in their day.
They were stars and studs who were, had valets and people to take care of them.
I wrote them down, one for each of us.
Well, we use what we got, baby. All right, now, 2:45 a.m., we hook up right back here.
Oh, no, at the rate we travel.
Yeah, I like that. Let's start earlier. We're older people.
I'll also say that we've made a subtle choice of a wardrobe here. Now that the boys have got their mojo back, you notice Elvis is wearing a sleek black robe.
Yeah, it's a nicer robe, and he has a nicer
very
robe.
presidential robe.
It's those subtle hints that you can let people know that things are getting better with your characters.
People always laugh during this, but hey, it's a function of any action movie is synchronizing,
Synchronizing
watches.
your watches.
And also, watch your ass.
Yeah, no kidding.
yeah.
You got that right, brother.
Well, at its core, what this movie is about and what we're seeing right now, as Joe Lansdale has always said, is he saw this story as ride the high country with walkers and a wheelchair.
Which, of course, the Ride the High Country is Joel McRae and Randolph Scott, who are these old guys who actually were Western heroes who get to relive the old times. So that's what we're doing now.
Well, you're heading for the OK Corral.
And look, he's got the cape on now. So this is none of his other stuff. He had a cape on. So he's Batman now.
It's true. Bruce, what he is Elvis was a superhero.
Yeah, he dressed
Look
like
at that.
one. Yeah, he acted like one. I mean, those collars are from another planet. they really were. It's nuts. And they weren't bad. Those suits fit pretty well. Because they were designed, custom tailored, made to fit the fat suit. So I didn't really have to stretch anything that much. But they hold you together. I can understand why Elvis wouldn't mind that, because it's a unitard,
That's my medicine bag.
Yeah, here's his mojo.
Indians used to wear them into battle.
I like that idea that he's collected. He's got his daughter.
Yeah.
He's got the Purple Heart hanging from the little the Kimosabi mask. He's got it all.
It's all his good luck totems.
And now he always says, "That's my daughter. That's my wife." You had to be a little careful of that, right? Because of who's alive and who's not. I think there's a difference with that.
Kids, when they needed us, were we?
And what kills me about this is that
I could just talk to her again.
he's rationalizing in a very serious way the fact that they both couldn't be there for their children because he was JFK. He was a busy guy.
Or even if he's just a crazy guy in a rest home, he wasn't there for
Wasn't
his
there
kids.
for his daughter.
You know?
That's
So-
right. It could go either way. Right.
We got business to take care of.
But it's a credit to the actors that they can shift gears, from that heroic thing to something pretty sensitive.
Sure. Of course, this is now the weaponry. This is where it gets into prop hell, because now we're adding the sprayer, and the sprayer didn't really want to stay up on my shoulder. It's a strap, And that was a nice little thing. It's like you had that airlock sound effect.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I wanted to keep the only thing that helped my strap step was the little grommets on my outfit. Kept it sometimes.
Well, I think you actually threw the prop at at the prop man after one take, didn't you, Bruce?
Here, you put this on. You wear this damn thing. Ossie's so funny in this because he's so serious. He won't answer. It's like it's too secret.
What's she liking us?
I'd like to say that the original screenplay was changed here by Ossie because I had just had him say something to the effect like about Marilyn that she was a sweet kid and a damn fine.
Yeah.
And he came up with this beautiful bit about the top secret and classified.
Right, that's strictly
completely
need to
his
know, yeah.
concoction, and it was just perfect and tasteful, which the script wasn't.
2 seconds later, that sprayer fell off my shoulder. I walked out of frame and got like one more foot and it fell off. So we wound up Velcroing a strap to the outfit and then Velcroing the strap to the outfit.
The things that you would never know.
Yeah, or care about.
Probably.
Oh, big deal. Bruce has problems with his props, like they care. But that's what these commentaries are all about. Give you all the boring, mundane material. Now, that little wheelchair that he's in, now that he's in his automatic wheelchair, those suckers work.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about this particular model, Bruce, is there was a function on it where you could dial the speed up. You know,
Yeah.
so you could crank it into hot rod mode.
You could crank it in hot rod mode, but it also had a joystick that if you could spin in circles. You could just spin back and forth. So in between takes, you know, I was always...
Well, it has a very short turning
Yeah,
radius.
I was kicking Ossie out of there all the time, saying, "Get out of there, man! Let me ride around in that thing."
Gonna jam this paint can up my ass and jam me in the wheelchair up Jack's ass.
This line cracked me up because it's like, it's such an absurd line. That's how mad Bubba Ho-Tep's gonna be. And this was also on the same, and the light you brought in,
Yeah.
right, the fake street light.
Yeah, we had to get in there. I wanted to keep that consistency.
But it's good though. See, the light is still freaking
Bubba's
out.
effect on electricity.
Yeah.
I think in Joe Lansdale's story, he talked about that stogie that Elvis had been saving.
See, you hear
for-
the little Velcro rip
Right,
when I
yeah,
took it
yeah,
off?
yeah.
You can actually hear that. That's what kills me. I'm sorry, you were saying?
That he was saving that. In the story, it said that he'd been saving that stogie for a special occasion. and
Right.
you know, fitting that he brought it out for the.
Oh, shit.
So once again, this was shot on that property near the hospital. There was a big park out there. We were able to do all of this stuff right there.
It really is the beauty of independent films, where that you really have to be clever. You have to say to yourself, if I turn the camera in the opposite direction, can it be a new scene? And in many cases, it can be. And so I think what a lot of people don't realize when they watch a movie is that they'll see all these different shots and think you're in different locations. And the lower the budget, the less likelihood there is that you're going to go to another place. We're not even going to go to Nacogdoches. You pass a sign that says Nacogdoches, and you're in Nacogdoches.
Well, this was an inspiration from the moment I read that short story about the idea that Elvis was always using that walker, and that he would be able to use it as a weapon.
Right, finally use it as something in his defense.
Of course, in this scene, it's almost like he gets a tiger by the tail because he pins him, but what's he going to do with him?
Yeah, what do you do? Exactly. And Bob was great to work with because, stunt guys and former stunt guys, they have control of what they're doing. Doing fight scenes with actors is very scary because they tend to get amped up so much that they'll forget and punch you in the face, And so stunt guys, I always have a lot of respect for them and I enjoy them.
Don't make me use my stuff on you, baby.
Don't make me use it.
That was a line that you came up with, Bruce.
It's one
Beautiful.
of his. It's just one of Elvis's. It's his stuff. Don't make me use my stuff on you, baby. Because he still has a little bit of the. He can't quite throw a karate kick like he could before, but he's still gonna try. And he's ready too. Look at Ossie. I mean, he's gonna take this guy out. See, this is how Bob did a good job. This. I like this effect. It's so simple, but the timing has to work, or it doesn't.
I would say,
work.
Bruce, that after this
Shoom.
movie, we'd probably call Bob an actor. He's elevated himself from the stunt.
I think we
status.
should. I think we should. But he certainly served a dual purpose because he's the only actor you can light on fire.
Well, Bob's a big fan of the Karloff movies too, and when he found out I was making a Mummy movie, he practically begged me to let him play the role.
Yeah, and how was he at the end of the movie?
Well,
No, well, he probably likes it again now.
yeah, he had a lot of abuse.
He really did. He did. And everyone was very kid gloves with me, and they were very nice about it. But poor Bob, it's like, shut up and go sit in that chair, Bob. Bob, you want something? No, I'm all right. Because he's got the mask on. He's got this whole outfit. He's probably completely uncomfortable. And he can't see. He probably can't see worth a damn.
Well, he had to wear those red contact lenses, which were horrible.
He did?
Yeah, all night long.
Inside there?
Yes.
In case you happen to see that in those dark holes?
Well, once in a while we do see his eyes.
Oh, my
Well,
word.
especially you'll see him a lot in the final fight coming up. Well, just so luckily that wheelchair came along.
That's right. Does come in handy, those little things. All right, this is the big showdown, Don. I'm getting worried now.
This was a scene that was added in the editing because a friend of mine said, "Oh, you've got to show him sucking a soul at one time."
At least, yeah, getting close at least.
Yeah, so we did that zoom into the mummy prosthetic head.
There's some graphics coming up here that I really want to commend these digital guys who worked on this.
Well, Bruce, it's a credit to you because these guys, Michael Smith and David Hartman, they came on to this show because they're big Bruce fans.
But look at this, though. In the script, it said that the hieroglyphics tumbled out of his mouth and formed words. And normally, it never happens like you read it in a script. I mean, that image was exactly how I pictured it, that they tumbled out and formed the sentence. And I just think they did a really great job. I mean, that's a very unusual use of digital effects.
Well, especially in the second line coming up.
Yeah, it is.
So there's Bob lit on fire.
Which is the advantage of casting a stuntman / actor.
Now, he told me that he didn't really feel much from that. I guess the mummy suit insulates him pretty well. But he has a full Nomex burn suit on, and they put that Zell gel stuff on top of him.
Yeah. You never know. Those are always very scary for me. I don't like lighting someone on fire personally.
Oh, it's frightening.
You know, because everyone's backed off, and you have to have someone come in and go, "He's okay." At the end, they give the all clear, and they come in with a fire extinguisher. It's very scary. The guy pulls the plug on himself. He can't really breathe for X amount of time.
Yeah. Bob was holding his breath.
Right, because
for
you
that
can't
entire
inhale
time.
the fire.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be bad news.
To you, Elvis.
This is the death of the president now. Don, I'm going to get weepy-eyed during this. I'm going to have to leave.
Got to.
But Ossie, again, he's the president. He's not some crazy guy.
Well, he knows how to push the buttons. And once again, it's a credit to Brian Tyler's score here, where it almost
This
soars
theme
and
right here.
takes JFK off to heaven.
This is it. That little piano thing gets me every time because he's cooked this whole score down, the whole theme, right into that.
It's just a matter of he instrumentalizes it in the guitar in some rocking things, the same theme.
Right.
But then when he takes it into more sentimental mode and with a single piano,
Yeah.
it can work. It's just a brilliant, brilliant theme.
It's very effective because the musician, Sam Raimi used to refer to music as the glue. You would take it and you'd pour glue all over your movie, and it would fill in all the cracks and all the little seams and blend all the edges, make things more important, make things more, sadder or horrific. And I think it was a great find. What compelled you to get him for this score?
He had done a movie called Six String Samurai, and I'd gotten a copy of that CD through Daniel Schweiger, this music supervisor. And I tracked a lot of the movie with the Six String Samurai just while I was editing. And then it just worked out. There was a crack in his schedule. I was able to get Brian on, and he got the movie. And he was also a big Bruce Campbell fan. That was part of it, too. Now, this is, I'd say, the other great acting scene, Bruce. Because even though JFK has departed this mortal coil, he's left you with his legacy of this
stupid,
silly,
this very dumb thing that he has to say doesn't even rhyme well.
Shit, don't even rhyme well.
And he's kind of pissed too at JFK. He kind of left him in a lurch here. And of course, the mummy
and
is not done.
He's still ready to take some names and kick some ass.
Now here's the second one, right? This is the second use of the.
So you'll want to stop your player right now and look at these graphics. They're really something.
So something is eating. There's a dog. There's a penis. And something is being wiped. I like how the hand is actually moving up and down once it settles. But he's so crude. Eat the dog dick of Anubis, you asswipe. He's these two old guys, and these two profane old guys, and then the mummy's even worse than both of these guys. I remember you told me here, you said, I want the war whoop.
Yeah,
I need the southern...
The rebel yell.
The rebel yell.
Yeah, and that's what it was. It just set the thing up. And this is just the classic monster section of the movie.
Now, this is where I, of course, feel for my stuntman, John Casino, who has been the tireless stuntman for me in a number of movies. And,
Whoa.
he shows up, and stunt guys hate getting makeup on. They want to show up, put their pads on, and do a stair fall and go home. He shows up, Don goes, no, sorry, John, you got to get in the makeup. So John got like a makeup light version. You know what I mean? It wasn't the full deal, but you still had to have the fat suit and the jumpsuit and all that stuff. And, the poor guy. And it was raining out there in Malibu Creek State Park. I think I was leaving as he was coming in. I was like, see you, John. Have a good night, buddy.
Well, you got to experience some of the pain you were going through.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I like the look of this mummy post-burn, which another more great work of Robert Kurtzman, because this was after the mummy's head's been burned up, so it's a different look for him. He doesn't have his hat anymore, and he's completely toasted.
Right, yeah, he's all crispy.
And much more pissed.
Now this is kind of fun. You've got a little blur thing going there. That it's literally he's blurry and his vision is blurry. You know.
Well, he's about to go out, and he wanted to take this sort of this pause where he can reflect on what's in store for him if he doesn't get it together.
To me, it would all end right here for Elvis Aaron Presley. Nothing left but a quick flush.
No way, baby.
This is another Bruce line that came up himself. TCB, baby. Bailed me out of a problem there. What does Elvis say before he punches him?
Well, again, though, there's some of the catchphrases of Elvis. He's got about 8 of them. We probably could have picked, one of those.
Days are over, amigo.
Sorry, buddy, you're gone.
So this is a total...
Now, there's a nice little enhancement here. You've got some little digital creatures flying away. Did the same company added a few extra little zingers?
Yeah, the idea being is just to cement that the mummy was gone for good, that all the souls that he had sucked were released.
Right.
So there's a little satisfaction for all those poor folks.
They're free now. That's an interesting moment, too, because it's the aftermath. You kind of know that he's not going anywhere, And there's that one wider shot coming up where he's just lying there flat on his back. Nothing. It's it.
Well, he's going out.
Yeah.
And we bring our, Brian sneaks the theme in here again.
Mm-hmm.
It's the heroic stuff. He made it to herodom.
I felt something inside grating against something soft.
That's a great description of this line.
I felt like a water balloon with a hole poked in.
When you poke a hole in a water balloon, that's it. I mean, I used to do that as a kid. You'd bite a little bite in it so you could throw it at someone so that it would break. Sometimes a water balloon would bounce off them. You had to bite a little hole in it. So it's a great descriptive.
Still mine. All mine.
And what's funny about Joe Lansdale is when you meet him, he's kind of a rough, tough character. Like, he knows karate, too. He could have beat the crap out of you and I. And he wears these outlandish shirts, but he's really, I think he's a sap deep down.
No, he's a softie.
He's a sucker. This thing all is well. I mean, it's a bizarre, uplifting thing at the end of the movie.
Well, it's almost as, as Elvis dies, he is able to read.
He's transcending.
He can read Egyptian.
Right, he can read the stars, exactly. But this, again, the great theme comes right back in here. And I thought it was a nice, surprisingly positive wrap-up. So I can just say that, Don, it was my pleasure to work on this movie.
Bruce, I couldn't have done it without you. And I mean it.
It's that $5 I kicked in for the coffee. I know. Elvis has left the building.
Well, we don't know that, Bruce.
We don't know that, do we? No.
He might return.
He might. He might still be around, actually, if you check a different audio track.
I'll have to check that out.
Now, I thought this was a nice graphic touch, is that each one gets the translated hieroglyphic
Well, if you go through
under their name.
with your stop motion and look at each one, if you knew each of these people,
But that doesn't say Bruce Campbell in Egyptian, does it?
No, but I tried to select proper characters for each person. I mean, with Ossie just there, you'll see a bull, and there's some different figures that seem strong. And,
I see. So you had a choice of
and
images.
more feminine ones for the women. And if you look at this is craziness, but
You're really getting into this here.
When you got nothing to do in your director, you want to make the thing perfect. And I
right.
went through even the composer. There's some little musical things or whatever.
Oh, how fun!
So if anyone ever wanted to take the time to look at it.
And Bob Ivy as Bubba Ho-Tep. Adam did a very nice job.
Yes, he did. I think we could say that about everybody. These guys did a great job, too. But rather than clap backs on all this, I think, though, we should talk, Bruce, about the fact that so many people have been so kind and generous in their praise about the film. I mean, I really, the response to it has
we've
really
been helped
great.
mostly. The film has been helped by the audience because I took this film around casually in 2002 for part of a book tour that I had. And we were able to show it in some theaters, and the response was such, and the internet response was such, that it helped get this thing out, and it started small and got bigger and bigger. And I don't mean to make fun of its distribution, because these days most films just go straight to DVD, and it was great to be in a movie that finally, for once, didn't do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you mentioned that, Bruce. There are a couple of guys that we could thank publicly who were early adopters of the film. You know, I remember you took and showed the film in Chicago. A couple of critics there, Eric Childress and Nick DiGilio, got behind the film early. Of course, Harry Knowles in Austin was a big supporter
Yeah,
of the
those
film.
guys are always good for really supporting the true independent film, and they love movies down there in Austin, and we had some good screenings down there, and it shows me that there's a big market for the counterculture, for every pop culture movie, for every sort of pop movie. There is a counter idea, counterculture out there, and Bubba sort of proved that.
Yeah, those guys were so good to us, Eric Vespi, and also some of the early other critical response from the Hollywood Reporter, David Hunter, who had called Bruce Campbell in a performance for the ages. We were able to take these comments and show them around or display them, and we were, even before we took the film out theatrically, we developed a groundswell of interest and want to see on the part of.
And it was very refreshing to me, because I was a little afraid that independent movies could not be shown in theaters anymore.
Yeah, but and then of course we also got to talk about then, even before we got to the theaters, some of the great film festivals which backed the film. We were invited up to the Toronto Film Festival.
Sure.
And I think that was the first time that I thought that maybe we had something, because the internet press had started, and
we had a very good midnight screening.
Yeah, you remember we showed up. It was that old Uptown Cinema, which is unfortunately is no longer. But there was a 900-seat theater, and they turned away 500 people at midnight. You know, so we're starting to get a vibe that there was something to this movie.
Well, that because of the SARS, people had nowhere to go up there in Toronto, so they all went in to see the movie.
This was
apparently
a few months before SARS.
Well, I started the whole SARS thing to get that to happen.
Okay.
So, just so you know, that's how much I'm working for you here. There's Tim. Tim, the Elvis impersonator. Thank you, Tim. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. You can always go back to Chino, Tim. And a lot of these folks had never worked on a movie before, which is perfectly acceptable. We were happy to have them.
Yeah, we had a great crew, a lot of dedicated people. Jason Savage, our producer, just worked so hard on the film. And then our special thanks to a number of people. I'd like to single out a couple on here. Mick Garris, a director friend of mine, who helped us to get Ossie by sending Ossie a letter, because he had directed.
Is that how it happened?
He had directed Ossie in The Stand with his wife Ruby Dee, and he sent Ossie a letter saying that I was a stand-up guy and that he should do the film.
Please do this movie.
So I think that really helped a lot.
Good, whatever it takes. I love how every movie has a website now.
And
Just go to Bubba Ho-Tep.com.
You see, we thank the staff and residents of the Mud Creek Shady Rest.
Well, I also like that you'll be subject to the wrath of Bubba Ho-Tep if you duplicate this film. Well done.
What do you think about this, Bruce?
Well, I have to say, I'm pretty excited about it. And if every one of you out there buys this DVD 17 times, we're going to make it.
Amen.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm coming to you from a undisclosed location. This filmmaker here, Don Coscarelli, he asked me to sit in and see what I thought of this picture he made. This Ho-Tep thing here. Now, what's this here, Bubba? I see they're describing whatever. I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do here. He said just sit down and relax, so I brought myself some popcorn here, so if you don't mind, I don't mean to be rude or anything. I just gotta have a little bit of popcorn while we're doing some of this here. Bubba Ho-Tep. I can't tell if this is high budget or low budget. It's something about a story about some singer. We'll see, man. I hope this ain't a foreign picture.
Eine unbekannte Sphinx, Das rätselvolle Symbol des ägyptischen Sonnengottes fand man an der Tempelstraße zwischen Karnak und Luxor am Nil. Die Mumie eines Priesters, 4000 Jahre alt, wird aus einem freigelegten Grabgewölbe hervorgebracht.
This must be the Ho-Tep. I think so. Something like that. He's some Tutankhamun Egyptian, whatever. Well, listen here. We got some music in this show. Pardon me here. Wonder where this is. Mud Creek, Texas. Well, I have no idea where that is. Present day. That's a sorry-looking place. Rest home. So what they're saying, I guess some premises, something about they think the king is still alive somewhere. Well, tell you what, he's alive, all right. And he's sitting here right here talking to you. Where's this at, I wonder? I wonder when they shot this picture. I did 33 pictures. Never did any horror pictures, though. Except Harem Scarum had some scary parts. Look here. That's who they think is me, huh? Let's get a good look at him.
My dick was out, and I was checking to see if that infected bump on the head of it had filled with pus again.
What is he saying?
If it had, I was going to name that bump.
I mean, is this some kind of porno picture? I hope it isn't. I hope it isn't going to be anything. I never have anything to do with any kind of picture that would insult women or treat them simply like sex objects or whatever.
Had a heart on in years.
Man, he's talking about erections, and this is a pretty racy picture. I don't know. All my pictures went through the Hayes office. They got approved through the Hayes office, so there really wasn't any problem. Even with Ann Margaret shaking it up, I mean, it was fine because she was cute. She wasn't really trying to portray sex, or it wasn't a picture about erections. Like, I mean, I hope this isn't what this is all about. Well, look here. They think that's what I look like now, huh? Big, fat old cheeks, big guts sticking out. Let me tell you what, their guts all wrong. I've been working out. I've been doing some singing. Later on, I might sing a little number for you, some new material I've been working on. Oh, see, there you go. With all these imitations, I always got to get the glasses on. You know, I had a little bit of run-in with glaucoma. That's the only reason why I was wearing those glasses. It's sort of, you know, the bright sunlight. I'm always having people snapping pictures of my face, and it got difficult with all the bright lights, so I sort of wear those glasses. And look at that. Look at the size of the gut they got there on me. I hope it's a fat suit. Hope that actor ain't really that fat.
When the hell they got to serve lunch?
I mean, they do that. When I did that engine picture, I think it was Kid Galahad. I had to go with, you know, they put these different lenses in my eyes and made me look like I had different colored eyeballs. And man, that's difficult. So I sympathize with this guy. If he's trying to add however many years, I don't know how this boy is. Bruce Campbell, whatever his name is. He's I don't know what he looked like normally. Man, if it's all that makeup, I don't like it. I never liked the makeup because it's got all over my suits, all my fancy suits when I was singing. Get makeup on there, and then you couldn't get off because it was hard to wash with all the sequins and all that. It was so elaborate. They had to steam them. Wait a second now. What's here? Here's a young fella. Well, they did throw panties up there. There's no question about it. They threw keys, panties, car keys, license plates, everything, man. They just threw it up on stage. Phone numbers. Boy, it was different then. Let me tell you. None of these transmissionable sex diseases or whatever. It was a whole different ballgame back then. What's happening here? This old boy, he ain't doing so good. I was in the service. We had a couple guys who weren't doing so well like that. I can't tell if this is drama or comedy. I'm not sure which way we're going here. Looks pretty serious, actually. Time for some more popcorn. Well, I have to say, it sort of looks like me. I have to say, my hair ain't quite that sort of salt and peppery. I got a pretty good head of hair still. I still wear the glasses, but it's only because I have to. Well, sure, I guess that old boy died, huh? Mud Creek, Shady Rest. Is it Mud Creek or Shady Rest? Is it the Mud Creek? Well, I guess it doesn't really matter, does it? I don't know if that's part of the story, but I know in the pictures I did, like Blue Hawaii, well, I was really very concerned about, you know, making sure our story was pretty straight. pretty understandable. Look at these two. They sort of look like Mutt and Jeff sitting here talking here. But see, they don't look like modern day. They look a little more like 1960s or something. Back when I was making girls. Oh, here's some other old weird old lady. Tell you what, making pictures, I enjoyed them. First 5 or 6 or 7. Last one I did was Change of Habit, 1969. I was just getting tired of it, tired of waking up early and going to bed late. And as soon as you're done, you got to show up the next day and replace some dialogue that they didn't record correctly, or you got to pick up some silly song that they didn't get or whatever. It always seemed like after I finished like Speedway or Clambake or whatever, it was always, by the time I got to Double Trouble, I had to do some voice replacements for Clambake. It got very complicated. What's she doing? She offering to clean her specs or what? Well, hey, now, what kind of picture is this? I mean, she's taking stuff from that old woman. That don't seem quite right. I don't know. This Don Coscarelli, I'm not sure what sort of picture he's trying to make here. Is this a mean-spirited one? I mean, is this a holiday picture? I did a holiday picture. Viva Las Vegas was sort of a holiday picture, 64. Roustabout was almost a holiday picture. But mainly that's that tickled me more than anything was pretty much just holiday geared. I think we're getting something scary now. Why is it always when you have a scary scene, they always got this music playing in the background like it's trying to throw you off, you know, like she's in there and she's just enjoying the evening, listening to some old-fashioned records, because, you know, the old people in those homes, that's what they do. They just listen to some records. But then I know something bad's going to happen. Pardon me, I have to drink a special tea now because I had some stomach problems earlier. It's a white tea. It's even cleaner than the green tea. Everyone says, oh, Elvis, he didn't take good care of himself, didn't he? But that's not true, man. I take better care of myself than this old woman here. Look here, we're probably the same age as me and this old woman, but I could kick her ass. Man, look at that. She's got them squinty, flinty eyes. I used to hate close-ups. I used to always prefer something a little wider where you can move around a little bit. You can make your hips move, make your hair move. Get too close on you can't really look straight. You can't even, sometimes you're looking at a stick. You're not even looking at the actor. I don't know. I mean, early on, it didn't really matter. I'd do some picture like King Creole, have a real old director sort of teach me the ropes. That sort of thing was all right. It was all a learning curve. But then after a while, I sort of got a little more boring. Now, this is some kind of big bug, man. It's pretty. I don't know if this is rated M for mature. I'm not sure what's this rated. The same as that, man. Wait a second. They didn't say this was a terror. This is a terror picture. I mean, it's got a. I can hardly see that. It's like an outline of something. Was she getting all upset? I want to know if she's dead or not. So we already had 2 people dead in this picture. Wait, now she's back again. What's that? Maybe they figure Elvis had a nightmare. I never really had nightmares. You know, I had a little problem with some prescription situations starting in the early 70s, but you know, I never really had any nightmares. Some of the stuff I'd take, the little yellow ones with a green side of them, I mean, those would make me sleep pretty good. Sometimes I'd take some blue ones with little polka dot things on there, and those cause some difficulty sometimes. But I never really had any nightmares, so I don't know. I know this picture just taking artistic license and stuff, but it's pretty scary. He looks like he's concerned, mainly more than anything. Now I'm assuming, so this is a drama then. But then they got this here. Now we got Mutt and Jeff going again here. I'm not really sure which direction here Mr. Coscarelli's going with this picture, but seems all right. I did my first picture when was it? 1956 stage show. Just as a small little part. Love Me Tender was pretty quick after that. Just same year. I used to do pretty much just a picture a year. Usually every spring, tour in the summer because that's a good time. People are always out. They wanted to see a tour. Then I make a picture in the spring because there wasn't much going on. People are sort of settled down for their lives. They want to, get on with their business. Come summertime, they're looking for some fun. So, boy, is he ever going to get out of this bed? I mean, I move around pretty good. This old boy, he seems like he's using a bedpan. He's using all sorts of things here. And why is everything so weird looking, skipping around like that? You know, I work with Hal Wallace, who's a pretty good director, Michael Curtiz, some of these really big guys, and, you know, they didn't rely on these camera tricks. They pretty much just set up the camera, they set up the situation, you learn your lines, they block it just like a play, and it's really good. Now it seems like they got to use special effects or skip motion or some kind of, they run things backwards and forwards and in one ear and out the other. Here we go with the glasses again. Wonder why those have to do this. Now, who's that? Well, that must be the old boy. Some younger pictures of him. Now, who's that? She's a cute little thing, isn't she? Wonder where they get these actresses out there in Hollywood. I tell you, there's one little thing working on Roustabout and Paradise Wine Style and Spin Out. Man, there were chicks, hot and cold running chicks everywhere. They were really, it's one thing about Hollywood. I wasn't really into acting all that much, but boy, it's a good place to meet chicks. Let's hear him talk. She's fine to hear him talking. Instead of just complaining and that the voiceover work they have him doing there.
Maybe that tin of chocolates there?
Now look here. He's got to be quick, a little easy with that lip now because he's starting to get a little twitching. See, I never really... Look, man, I did a bunch of pictures and I only twitched my lips so it would show that he was sort of a friendly guy. It was just sort of a guy next door, man. It was pretty simple. But here, I think he's sometimes getting a little... Well, now what is this? Is this back to being a porno picture? I mean, this is borderline, this sort of stuff. That wouldn't have passed the Hayes office. Hayes office would have said, you can't show a woman's, a woman's area like that without some ramifications. Maybe these pictures are worse than mature. Maybe it's X-rated or something. I don't even know. I wonder if he had to practice me much. I didn't have to practice too much. Hold on, excuse me. Yeah, hello. That's right. Oh, man, I'm still making a noise with the singer. Yeah. Well, I got to do a little recording here. Yeah, I understand. Mm-hmm. I'll be doing a little bit. You can make sure Jimmy brings the car around. Well, I'm back and I can do that maybe 4 or 5 o'clock, something like that. Is that all right? Okay, thank you.
Don't lay some guilt trip on me, mister. I did what I could.
All right, here we go. What'd I miss?
I mean, if it hadn't been for Medicaid or Medicare, whatever that...
She's getting pretty snippy.
Some ditch somewhere.
You know, Anne Margaret, she never really got snippy. She's always smiling, always cute. We always made sure that the co-stars, when Elvis's picture, that they were just cute. You just want to take them home. They were wholesome. Your mother could be there same way. And I know that my mother, she came to the sets and she met all my co-stars and...
They don't charge you for that.
Mind your own business. I was busy.
See, now, this is where I'm starting to think it's a drama, you know what I mean? He's lamenting about some old guy. I seen her. She's one of them comedy sitcoms. Arthur, or what was the name of that? Three's a Kind. I forget what it was. But I've seen her before. She's pretty good, so she must be the evil nurse. Now look there. She's not talking. Is that one of my samples? I think that's a little uncalled for.
I thought he was dead.
Not really necessary. I mean, easy come, easy go in '67. We did some things that were a little questionable, sort of a little innuendo, but, you know, even up through Stay Away Joe in '68, we never had to use urine or those things of erections and penises and cancer. Never needed to titillate that way. It was pretty much to sing some songs, have a straightforward story, and everyone come away all right here. All right, so what are they saying here? They're saying that this is Elvis. He's still alive, which, of course, I can relate to, but
Look, I was just impersonating myself, okay?
Impersonating myself. See, listen to him. He's really pouring it on thick now.
You're trying to say my brain's...
See, my brain's messed up. I wouldn't say it. I'd say more like this. I'd say, you're trying to say my brain's messed up, aren't you?
Pills, you know.
You're trying to say my brain's messed up, aren't you?
This
You're trying to say my brain's messed up, aren't you? See, all 3 times I said it there would be different than how he would have done it. So I guess, look, this old boy, we never met. I never got any phone calls from him saying, hey, can I come and study you for a little bit of time? So I guess he's just winging it. And look, it's going to be hit or miss. I mean, who really knows? So I guess he probably came out all right. And you don't really know what Elvis would sound like if he was still alive, you know.
The woman I love, Priscilla.
Oh, here we go. Now he's looking a little younger there.
The rest of the women were just women.
Why is it frowning like that? Look, I never sort of frowned. More, what I usually did is, it looks like he's been sucking on lemons there. Well, let's see. Now here's his guys. Well, the original guys, I wonder if they even got those things right. They got the original Memphis Mafia guys right. Sonny West, Red West, Billy Smith, Marty Lacker, and Lamar Fike. You know, it's funny, most people couldn't understand. They call him Ficky, Fikey, Fookie. When I first met him, I said, Lamar Fike, what's your name, man? He says, look, it's real simple. It's Lamar Fike, just like your bike, just like hitchhike. So I used to call him Lamar Fike, hitchhike your bike. Hitchhike on your bike, Lamar Fike. Sonny West was all right. His brother Red, these guys are pretty good, you know. Known them for a long time. See, that's not a bad sort of look at it. I don't know why they had us walking so slow. I'm not sure if they need to over dramatize or whatever. I mean, sometimes I think that they're trying to make us seem like we're the coolest cats, you know. These filmmakers, Elvis always has to, you know, look cool and talk cool. And let me tell you what, he spent most of his time, we was just joking half the time. I tell these guys to go do something, they thought I was just kidding. I'd have to get mad sometimes just to get them to do anything. The good guys, though. Marty, he was a good old boy. Billy, we'd argue sometimes, and you know, of course, Red and Sonny, they sort of ran the show. I mean, they would never, like someone would be shadowing me the whole time. There'd be no way that I'd be in a room alone with some guy who was an Elvis imitator, because you go crazy, man, stab my eyes with ice picks or something, or you know, gut me with like a fish. In cases like this, you know, we get one of the tough guys. We get Sonny or Red, and maybe Lamar would be there too, just as backup to say, "Hey, cool, keep your hands off the man." Now this is where they're saying he's swapping with an Elvis impersonator, so that's impersonator, and that's Elvis. Now look here, is this?
It's all right, boys.
Oh, see, he wiped his mouth. Wait a second now. The other guy was eating pie. This guy had a little piece of pie on him. I think that's it. I think they swapped here. All right, I'm staying with this picture now. Now it's sort of like a drama. Well, that's good. I'd like that's a pretty nice touch because, you know, those boys, they'd have those doors open real quick already, and he would know to wait. He wouldn't be getting his own doors. Or that's pretty accurate. I thought it was pretty good. Pretty clever piece of script right in there.
Except for enough money to sustain me.
Now, where'd they get these suits, I wonder? Those look pretty authentic.
Determined to make myself a new life.
You know, because there's only one company that made those suits, and maybe Don Coscarelli had a deal with them and he could get them same suits. Oh, so here's where they're wrong. See, I never wore a T-shirt under my shirts. It was always, I think they got sort of one of these little sweat soakers underneath there. And I used to like to keep cool. I spent so much time in Vegas, you know, that wanted to let the wind sort of blow, and I could always, if it got hot and sweaty, if I wasn't wearing a T-shirt, it would always dry a lot quicker. Man, this is like an action picture now. We got some drama, got some pathos. Now things are blowing up. This looks like a pretty expensive picture here. Looky here. Now, they're saying that I had a contract with some guy and then it burned up in a trailer park accident. Man, what are they smoking? Who wrote this thing, huh? Joe Lansdale. What's his? Wonder what his deal was here.
You may just get way out there and not come back.
Oh, fuck you.
Oh, there we go. He says the F word, man. I don't know, shit, and that followed by shit. In front of women, let me say, I never cussed. I never cussed. I mean, I cuss my boys out. I say, Sonny, you know, what the hell you doing? Sitting here having a beer with Red. Get going. Get Billy and Marty and Lamar. Let's get going. But whenever there were women involved, there's always utmost respect. I would never say the F word. So I think this picture, I mean, it's good that it's America. You got freedom of speech and everything, but I think they're pushing it a little bit of what he really talked about. I mean, look, I swear it. I've swore it before. I probably swear again. 2 days ago, I had my finger in the door, and man, I swore a blue streak. But Not if there were women here. See, now it's back to being a drama again. It's a weird picture, man.
Poor Bull. In the end, does anything really matter?
See, now that makes sense because I was sympathetic to the veterans. I helped put together that USS Arizona thing out there in Pearl Harbor, helping put that memorial together because these old boys that were working hard for us. Now Ossie Davis, I know him. He's like a real actor. Wonder how they got him for this picture.
Jack, no offense, but President Kennedy was a white man.
That's how clever they are.
No, man, well, that's pretty far-fetched. I mean, is this a drama or an action film, or now it's some sort of... It's like some intrigue now. I mean, it's crazy. Look, I knew President Kennedy. I met him. There was various discussions of Marilyn Monroe and stuff like that, connections, but I think it's all pretty overstated. It's not something I can really get into right now, but I think President Kennedy and I had an understanding. Of course, I had a pretty good relationship with President Nixon in 1970, December. Went to see him, and we had a pretty good conversation. It's interesting. I'm not sure who was more nervous, me or the president, and that he sort of knew who I was, and he knew I was a pretty famous fellow. And he wasn't sure whether to talk hip or whatever, so he said a couple of things. He said groovy one time. I almost wet myself, man. I'm like, President Nixon is saying the word groovy. Get out of here, baby. That's a pretty good shirt. I like that shirt. Wish I had one like that. I think they're pushing the sideburns a little bit too much, too. I mean, I think around 73, sure, 74, 75, we had some big chops going, but I don't know if it ever... These little raccoons they got on the side of his face there. And what's that? Why is a car driving across the bottom of a frame there? Weird special effect. It's a weird movie, man. Well, finally, maybe we're going to see some performing. Let's see this Sebastian Haff fella do his stuff. He's got back the blue suit. They must have only had to be able to afford about a couple of suits. I think they got one suit so far, two suits. Sebastian Haff, that's a good one. That's a pretty good one. I think it's kind of interesting. Listen, everybody. They couldn't afford any of my songs. See here? They just started doing these riffs. Well, this old actor, he's lucky. Let me tell you what, this Bruce Campbell, because he's, see how they're flash cutting so quickly, doing all that editing to make them look a little slicker. See, with me, when I was doing my concerts, there's no edits. We just perform for an hour and a half straight. And, that's how it all happened. This old boy, he's doing the best he can, but he got nothing to work with. They got no songs. He can't even sing Hound Dog. He can't sing Blue Suede Shoes. Look out here. Oh, we got a big stunt going here. Damn, that must be the hip situation. He's still in his bed. You gonna get out of the bed, old man, or what? Man. It's dark out. Why does he need his glasses if it's dark at night? Oh, is that what I think it is, man? Well, that's a bedpan.
Oh, that's it.
Good. This ain't that kind of picture he's going to be using a bedpan on a screen. I mean, when I did The Troubled Girls, 69, and we had to do some gunplay, and I'm just really concerned about violence and hurting people, and that's why we sort of had a code that if a bad guy at the end of the pictures, he'd always have to make the first move. I'd never just shoot a bad guy or punch a bad guy. I always had to make sure that he's crazy, and he's going to make the first stab. And so we had a pretty strict way of doing it. I don't know what the plan is here. Mr. Coscarelli's got going here. Now he's got him urinating. Back, there's always some kind of bodily function that's happening in this picture, man. I wonder how long it took to make this picture. I mean, basically, my pictures sort of had a 24-day shooting schedule. You sort of get what you got. Even Kid Galahad and Tickle Me and quick. I mean, really quick. You'd get in there, Warner Brothers is backlight usually, and they'd crank through them things. I already knew the songs. Half of them, the playback time, the time to just do the singing, that was pretty easy. You just had to show up and be clever now. Now we got back here with this bug. See, they slip in these swear words, these offensive. Oh, wait, what's happening here? I think we're back in being a terror picture because this Next thing you know, we're going to have a mummy sneaking around here. It's getting pretty dark, but I hear something. Yeah, I think he does too. Oh, there we go. It's on the wall, man. Easy. This restaurant's no good, baby. It's weird. It's got like a head inside, one head.
All right, man, let's go.
Oh, see, no, that's no fair. They doing the karate thing, and they don't show that he can do the karate. I mean, I was a black belt. Let me just come out and say that I was a black belt, multiple degrees. I could put my fists through concrete, and they're saying that I mean, even now, even right now, I could get myself a bug. I could see that bug. I could just size him up, snatch him out of the air. That's what I do right now. This is all way overstated. This reminds me of that picture that I saw a picture once, just after I sort of slipped out. It was a little silver sphere to go around in a circle and hit you in the forehead and suck all your blood out of your brains. I forget what that was a good one. This is a little bit like that, some of that stuff, things flying around. See, he's saying bastard, you six-legged bastard. I find it disappointing that there's so much need for cursing and this sort of thing. Like if this was made back around, I don't know, Follow That Dream around 62, that you wouldn't have that. You just have them saying, you wait right there, bug. You wait right there, bug. I'll be right back for you. You know, it wouldn't be into this big bitch cockroach. Everyone has to be clever now. Everyone's got to be real witty and Mr. Funny. They can't be doing things straight. You know, I went to the prison to work with him on counsel kids away from drugs. You know. Where are they now? Where's our emissaries? Where's our people who are keeping kids off drugs now?
Never fuck with the king.
Oh boy. I know actors have fun saying lines like that. I know I did, but like for example, I would have said, "Never mess with me. Never mess with me. Never fool around with me." See, that's just as good.
Hey, is anybody out here? I think we got some major bug problems in this place, man.
Yeah, I think so. It's starting to get all scary and weird now. Scary weirdo movie. That's what this here is. This Bubba Ho-Tep. Wonder where they found this place. Looks like a place my grandmother used to live in, Tupelo. Gladys Love Smith, Vernon Presley. They both wound up at homes just like that. Same thing. Well, look here, what's happening? Is there some violence happening here, or is there just... Maybe that's some symbolism or something. He's a weirdo filmmaker, Don Coscarelli. Now, who's supposed to... Oh, I think this is JFK is supposed to be here.
Oh, man.
Who's that?
Hey, Jack?
I think that's the guy, Ossie Davis. I think it's the same actor. Why they got him on the floor like that?
Jack? Hey, man, you okay?
It doesn't look okay to me. It looks like he's out cold, man. I spent an evening with President Kennedy. His brother Bob was pretty obnoxious always. Never leave us alone. I was saying, hey, can you sing this? Can you say that? At least I have something for my kids, you know. It's like, look, man, I'm just trying to have a chat with the president here. You're getting in my way.
Look up.
Finally had to say, look,
Sebastian.
I ain't never going to be another president, so can you give me 5 minutes with your brother? You got him for the whole life. And of course, I ate them words a little bit after that, but
Who, man?
I think he's a pretty good guy.
They said,
Who's they?
oh, you know who?
No, Jack, I don't. Come on, man.
Who's he talking about?
Lyndon Johnson.
Lyndon Johnson.
Castro, maybe. They
Man, this movie's a weirdo. Now there's some kind of
I think maybe
paranoia going on here, some sort of paranoia. I mean, look, I'm into the
real goddamn.
black arts and stuff like that, but I never really,
Johnson's dead.
never really followed this sort of thing of the
Ain't no stop him.
conspiracy theories of the president. I mean, there was a single guy with a gun, with a crappy gun he bought, and that's it. He shot him in the story.
So you say you heard a noise?
Where have I seen that guy
Yeah,
before?
well, I was following the sound, you know. I mean, I heard something. It was like
He was like, he's in a. He might have been in that picture with this, with a silver ball sucking the blood out of people's brains.
Or were you in bed when you heard this?
He seemed like one of them guys.
I was in
He
bed
seems
first,
so.
then I was awake 'cause the damn
Seems
bugs
so
woke me up.
familiar
You got
somehow.
bugs all over this place.
Bugs. Well, Mr. Haff, what kind of bugs have you been seeing?
Kind of bugs.
Look, man, do I look like an ichthyologist to you? It's big damn bugs.
Ichthyologist, what's that?
The size of a peanut butter banana sandwich, man.
Oh, see, they got to slip that in there. Everyone was saying that's all I ever ate was peanut butter and banana sandwiches. It's not true. I have popcorn and I got my white tea here.
Good, thank you. Thank you very much.
I heard them say that. They threw in that, thank you very much. Well, I hope they ain't just going to keep parroting that. Thank you very much. That's all everyone ever says when they imitate Elvis. Every guy in the whole world thinks he can imitate Elvis Presley. Thank you very much. That's all they ever do. They can't come up with some other words he says. It always has to be, be right back. Thank you very much. What's going to happen here? I hope there isn't going to be some kind of sexual innuendo here. Of course, she's a sitcom actress. I don't think she'd go for that sort of stuff anyway. This looks nasty. Oh, that's just terrible. Tell you, these modern pictures, it's all about grabbing your private parts or something. Oh, excuse me. Yes, sir. Yeah, hello. Yeah. Well, that's right. Well, look. Well, I know, baby, but look, I got to do the things I got to do. I told you I had to come and do some recording, and when I'm done with the recording, I'll be back.
Where'd my youth go?
You want 2% or what? The full kind?
Hold off old age
Yeah.
and death. Why the hell did I leave the fame?
What you want the full size eggs or?
Could I have it?
I mean, they don't have to be free range or something like that, do they? Just the regular eggs is good. Okay. Chips, yeah. I was gonna get some chips anyway. All right. Yeah, that's fine. No, I'm watching this movie. It's a picture about. It's really weird. It's like the guy took acid or something. You know, he smoked some marijuana or something before they wrote this picture. Joe Langdale or. Yeah, just watching this picture. Well, I don't know. I mean, it says what they do now. You can't just make a movie. You have to talk about the movie the whole time. So they got a hold of me. You know, remember that thing, had that special agreement we had to work up? Yeah. What was that thing? So they just want me to sit here and watch the movie and talk about it. It's pretty simple, but that's the way it goes. But it's pretty crude, I must say. You're not really missing it. I'm glad you didn't show up here, actually. Yeah, I'll call you when I'm done. All right, bye.
I've been given a dose of life again.
Where am I now? Well, good. At least I missed this part.
You get in there with me, I'll take that, Sheriff.
See, look, I never would approach a woman with disrespect. That I would say, like, for example, as in Charo. And in Charo, they had a scene with a woman. They wanted me to go, come on, baby, let's take a shower. And I'm like, there's no way. There's no way I'm going to ask a woman that sort of front sort of question. You got to have a little more respect when you're. Well, see, he's looking at. There's some kind of. This should be unrated, really. This is lewd. It's just lewd. But in Charo, they wanted me to say this, and what I wound up saying was much better. Was when I saw the woman, I just said, "Man, you're pretty," you know, and it played much better. This is terrible. These people are eating in a home here. Everyone's eating. It's making me hungry. You know, everyone wants to know about everything Elvis used to eat. Well, I did eat peanut butter and banana sandwiches, but you know, if you're really going to do it right, you said there's a simple way that you can make a peanut butter and banana sandwich. And here's the Presley Family Cookbook. Vesta Presley and Nancy Rooks Wimmer, they did put this book together. You take 3 tablespoons of peanut butter. Take two slices of light bread, which would be your Wonder Bread, it's not the health food bread. It's got all the nuts and stuff in it. It's not the whole idea here. This is not a peanut sandwich, all right? This is a peanut butter and banana sandwich. So it's about the bananas and the peanut butter. Don't even get the crunchy peanut butter because it sort of just gets in the way of the whole thing here. Take 2 slices of the light bread, 1 banana. You got to mash it up, see, because you're blending it. You know what I'm saying? You mash it up. You get 2 tablespoons of margarine, but you got to melt them now. So you mix the soft peanut butter and the mashed banana together. You toast the bread just a little bit. You spread the peanut butter and mashed banana on the toast. Then you place into the melted margarine, so you dip it. And then you just grill it up on both sides. So you got to dip it or brush it on. Sometimes you can use a brush, and it works out real good. Now, who does he think this is?
Baby?
Hope they're not going to too much. I'm not going to make too much of her, because I just assume they left her out. What's going on here now?
What's loose?
Is there?
Listen.
Maybe it's the monster's on the loose now. See, I knew this was a monster picture. It's just a matter of time before they get something going. You know, a picture like Double Trouble in '67 or Easy Come, Easy Go, we always had a little bit of action. We had sort of a chart that the guys at Warner Brothers always used to follow. Every 5 minutes, something was supposed to happen, like sort of punch a guy, or something would happen, some guy would steal something, it'd be a chase scene on foot or a bar fight or something, or I'd sing. So every 5 minutes, there's always something going on. And in here, it seems like they're doing the same sort of thing, only they're trying to have something, you know, growth on his pecker or whatever. They're trying to titillate you a little more. And they say this here, this here is a dignified actor. Why is he talking about thinking with sand? Doesn't seem like something I'd want to do if I was a dignified actor like that. Of course, I gave up after Change of Habit, '69.
Listen here. Listen. I know you're Elvis.
I see. So now we're back to being a drama again. It's no longer bugs and squishy things.
Roma, you know. You hated me.
And there's no way. I didn't hate. No, Mr. Kennedy. No, it's not true. Not true. Didn't hate him at all. It's simple. The fact that he was from the north and I was from the south. We didn't really run into each other that much. Couple of events. I think I introduced him once at something, and you know, I was passing at airports and sort of back in areas where we were supposed to wait, and VIP areas and stuff. I mean, we met. That's where we met. But I mean, why would I have any problem with him?
And look, man, I had nothing to do with Dallas.
That's right. I didn't have anything to do with Dallas. I didn't know Lee Harvey Oswald or any of those guys. Jack Ruby tried to book me once. Jack Ruby tried to book me in his club. He says, "Hey man, you're some kind of singer, right?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "I want you to be in my club because this is a guy who owned, you know, the Jack Ruby, the guy who killed Lee Harvey Oswald. He's a club owner." And he says, "Well, how much you charge?" I says, "Well, how much you pay?" He says, "Well, you know, mostly people just are glad to be in my clubs." I says, "Well, mostly people are glad to see me sing, so we better work something out." Now, what are they going here? Some sort of adventure, it looks like here.
There was an adventure going on.
Oh, here we go, some more bathroom humor. I wish this Mr. Coscarelli would sort of do a movie that was a little more mature. I guess you're trying to figure out what this mummy's doing now. Probably up to no good, that's all.
That's it. I mean, we're investigating a sculling in the hall, trying to figure out who attacked you last night. You bring me in here to look at stick pictures on the shithouse wall, man?
Stick pictures. Maybe that thing's... What's it doing? That's a weird drawing. What's that all about? I mean, I did study Egyptian, there's no question about it, so let me see. Let me see if I can figure out what they are. There's a donkey. There's a...
It's Egyptian.
Yeah, it is Egyptian. I mean, there's no question about that. The people who worked on the show there, they seem to be sort of realistic with their background checks and all the research they used to do.
To take a shit because they hadn't cleaned up my bathroom. Saw that on the wall.
What are you getting at? What's the point
Took it
here?
back to my room. Looked it up in my books.
But I got some donkey. Something about a donkey. That's what I got out of it.
Top line translates roughly
Oh, here we go.
into Pharaoh gobbles donkey goobers.
You say what?
The bottom line, Cleopatra does the nasty.
Oh, see, this is just some kind of... This is like a...
Pretty much that's the best.
It's like a cabaret, this movie. It's sort of bawdy and it's decadent, and, you know, we're in bathrooms talking about donkey goobers, and I tell you, this is what's right of this Joe Lingdale is...
What the connection is exactly.
I don't know, I think he could have been a little more imagination rather than talking about ding-dongs and hoo-ha's and stuff like that.
I came away just in
You know, I did Flaming Star in 1960. And we always made sure that the three things were happening in the picture. That the hero was the hero, and you knew who the hero was. Like with these guys here, I don't even know who the hero is. Like the guy who says he's Elvis there, he's just a mean old crabby guy. He's got cancer on his, well, you know, on his private parts. And this old guy is just sort of spouting off and crazy, man. He's not the lead of the picture, is he? You know, when I did King Creole, it was pretty clear that I was the lead of the picture. So rule number one was make sure your hero is the hero of the picture. And then number two, that there's a girl. And in this picture, I don't see there's no girl. There was this pretty girl earlier who was sort of showing us her private parts and whatever, but there's no girl. There's no, I mean, I guess he's sort of becoming friends with this buddy of his, but I don't know. I don't see any girl. Number three, there's always some bad guy, some pretty clear bad guy that, you know, the hero, you couldn't be a hero if you didn't have a bad guy. So, you know, you couldn't be a hero if you didn't have a girl. So it had to have those elements. So you can't really say that she's a girl because she's just a nurse. You know, she's a mean nurse who's wearing them gloves and greasing them up and such. But so I think they're, maybe it's just me, but I haven't seen it. Whoa, well, that was sort of, whew, startled me there for a second. But I think in this picture sort of taking some artistic licenses. This fella Don here, there's this guy back again. He this guy from that silver ball picture.
Is waiting on her enema.
See, like an enema. I wouldn't even be allowed to say that in Kid Galahad. You know, wouldn't even be able to say those words. Spin out. You know, I think the racist I got, I said like, "Hey man, why don't you go?" I think I had a line like, "Why don't you go shove it, man?" We argued about that for 2 hours. You know, with the Hayes office and. Can you say shove it, or they say shove what? What are you saying that you're going to shove? I was like, look, man, I'm just an actor just saying the lines that were in there. If you don't like it, take it out. It's all right with me, baby. I think something bad is going to happen here, though. Did you hear that? They always used to do that in the movies, the pictures they used to make. There's a certain music. When you hear the music doing a certain thing, you knew something was going to happen. Like you always knew a song was going to happen when you heard a couple quick little downbeats, you know what I'm saying? That's some weird drawings there.
Oh, there's an ugly son of a bitch.
Where do you get that book, I wonder? One of them, they probably had some of them, some young kid sort of draw on it and make it. It's probably fake. Always cracked me up doing pictures, too. Whenever they had coffee or tea, you're not really drinking the coffee or tea, you know? You're just, they usually just take they take iced tea and... The problem is when they shake it up, it gets sort of bubbly. It gets a little bubbly around the edges. You'll notice if you're ever having real tea or real coffee, there's no bubbles around the edges. And so you'll see, I don't know if they do in this picture, but a lot of pictures I did whenever I had drinks, because I never really liked the taste of coffee, but I said tea's all right. So they'd shake it up because they'd be sitting there on the shelf for a long time, and they'd pour it in. I'd say, hey, man, can you get rid of little bubbles? And I'll say, here. Now, I think they got some homosexuality thing going on here.
You got ding-dongs, man?
I got paydays, and I got a box of Baby Ruth.
Oh, Mama.
I wonder if Baby Ruth gave him some money to say that. Look at that. Oh, that looks good.
Let's get
You know, it's funny. They got him getting all excited about Baby Ruth. I really wasn't. I was more like I like circus peanuts. Pardon me. I thought, they were really tasty and they're chewy. They're circus peanuts, and then the snow caps were pretty good. I enjoyed those a lot when I was a kid.
You know a place like that?
What else? There was a kind of.
Couldn't burn much lower than in here.
There were some kids who used to come to my concerts. They have these. It's candy that would go around your neck. It's like a necklace, and you could pull it up. It's on a stretchy cord. You could pull it up and eat it and put it back down. But then after a while, I see all these kids who had all these multicolored ring around their neck. It meant they were coming to the concert, getting all sweaty and yelling and eating all their sticky candy. Man, that must have been
2 or 3 times.
a piece of work, I'll tell you.
And wraps his lips around some elder's arsehole. That elder.
Boy, it's just a shame to see them classically trained actors. Because Ossie Davis, I think he made his first picture back in 1945, something like that. He's talking about assholes. I mean, there's just no way. And Follow That Dream, 62. Where It Happened to the World's Affair, 63. Fun in Acapulco. I could never say Acapulco. There wasn't a swear word in every single one of those pictures. Hey, this guy looks familiar. I actually think he was on that Beverly Hillbilly show. What did he play? Dash Rip Rock or something like that. Yeah, I think that was him. He's still alive, huh? That's interesting. I remember thinking that show was pretty funny, Beverly Hillbillies. Well, of course, they're making fun of Southern people, so I never really appreciate that. And, saying to me from Tupelo, he's from Mississippi. Oh, he's just a dumb cracker from Mississippi. We had to fight a little bit of that, too, growing up. Besides, we moved to Memphis in 48, so it wasn't like I lived in Tupelo all that long. 35 to 48.
Got bored, started writing on the walls. He probably wrote on pyramid.
Now they're talking about his mummy, trying to figure him out.
Come on, man. Like, what would he crap? I mean, it's not like he'd eat.
See, we're back to the bathroom humor again. Just when I was really trying to stay focused and pay attention to this picture and see if there's a relationship with these two guys, and then start talking about crappers and shithouse walls and swearing and carrying on. Next thing you know, they're going to get some liquor out and start drinking or something.
Toilet water decoration.
Speaking of toilets,
Oh, you're not going to show him doing his business, are you, man? You showed Elvis in the earlier scene. Everyone knows how this goes, man. You don't have to show it.
they didn't have that in this time.
Modern day pictures, boy, I tell you what. Oh. Excuse me. Again, now you hear the music. I mean, something weird's gonna happen. I'll tell you what. Excuse me. Hello.
That's right, man. I'm not asleep.
Yeah, hey. How you doing, Joe?
Oh, he my ass.
Oh, I'm just doing a little recording thing of some picture. You wouldn't like it. It's too scary, man. They're talking about peckers and cancer and mummies and all kinds of weird stuff. Actually, I think you probably would like it. Hey, listen, can you make sure that you get more of those yellows? Can you give me some of those and some of the green ones? Mm-hmm. Well, give me more last time. Well, they were all right, but it sort of gave me a stomach again. I had to have, yeah. Can you get some more of those? Mm-hmm. I like the little sidewinders. You know them? Make sure we get some of those too. Yeah. Well, hang on here. I gotta go because something weird's happening in this movie. Okay, I'll talk to you later. What is this here now? Things are blowing up. Looks like voids at the sea bottom or something. Oh, this is where it gets starting to get scary now. Why would the mummy have cowboy boots? What kind of a? He's a Bubba mummy. Is that what it is? Is that the connection there? He's a Bubba mummy. So he's like a good old boy mummy. Is that the deal? And you're gonna get killed. If you kill Elvis off, you ain't got nowhere to go there. Look here, he's got a hat. He's got cowboy boots. So you notice they're not showing too much of him because, that's what directors always do. They always say, look, if we show the rubber monster, because we had a little gag we were doing in Jailhouse Rock, and the director said, well, look, if you show the guy in the monster suit, then it's gonna wreck everything. Oh, see, I knew they started getting some nakedness in this picture. I did 33 pictures, didn't have one naked person in any of them. I did real well for Warner Brothers. See, now they got the monster. They're pulling out his brain through his nose. There's women walking around without their shirt on. They don't even want to show the monster here because he don't look believable too much. And now where am I? Am I in Egypt? Or am I in his head? This is psychedelic, man. Starting to get up to Easy Come, Easy Go, Double Trouble, and even Live a Little, Love a Little back in '68. These directors are starting to get pretty trippy because I think there was some more drugs and stuff that was around Hollywood, and some of these guys want to do crazy things. And now it's almost like you have to be on drugs in order to do these pictures. Like some of these images that I see are like they're like you're on some kind of medication. He's dead, man. These guys are dying everywhere. All these old people. I guess that's the mummy's plan. He just went right through that wall. That was a pretty cheap special effect. Didn't really have special effects. I wouldn't really know anything about it. Kissing Cousins in '64. I mean, Didn't have no special effects. I guess I was a special effect. Girl happy. A few special effects in there. Let me tell you, her name was Darlene. She was a special effect. Boy, everybody's dying in this rest home. Gotta get something going here. These old boys, they got a secret, but they're not gonna tell him. Why don't you just tell them? Say, look, man, there's a mummy. That's what I do, and my pictures always made, pretty straightforward. You just come up to the man, like I would have come up to the guy. The guy was in them those Silver Circle movies with the Bloody Brain movies. And I'd come right up to him and I'd say, look, man, there's a guy who's sucking the souls out of the old people. But I wouldn't mention how he was doing it because I think it's kind of rude. You don't really need to. I just would you'd have Elvis' character come right up to him and say, look, man, there's a guy coming in here and he's hurting people. He's hurting people. I wouldn't even mention that he's sucking souls because that's a little anti-whatever. It's sucking. I wouldn't be talking about souls too much.
So what we did was, we lied.
Yeah, see, he lied. I would have just told him myself. I would have said, you got to do something, mister. That's how they would have done it. That's how they would have done it. Blue Hawaii, that's how they would have done it. Well, in the country wasn't bad because they had some different approaches. But still, the hero of your pictures, they can't be lying. They just got to be telling the truth all the time. What's he hiding on that thing for, I wonder? Well, good to see he's walking around. He's got that walker. Let me tell you what, I don't need a walker. I can stand up right now. I can stand up right here in this recording studio in this undisclosed location and stand up. Watch, I'll do it right now. See? You can't see it, but you can tell the tone of my voice is different. As I'm standing, if I was sitting, see, I'd be much more. See, I've been recording for so many years. I know exactly where a microphone is. I know exactly what to record. Like, see, like right now, I'm off. See that? Sounds just a little bit different. Now right here, I'm right back on. I'm sounding pretty good. I can even get closer here. See, we're back with Mutt and Jeff now. Now it's a damn comedy, and then making fun of dead bodies. I think it's desecration. You should always have respect, not only for the living, but especially for the dead, because they can't help it now. Look at this here, making fun of this. Not sure if I appreciate that. Sort of the soft side of Elvis here. Look at that. See, now that's not a jumpsuit. That's like some old guy would wear. Even today, when people see me walking around, they don't know it's me. When they see me walk around, they always say, wow, damn, that man's styling. I mean, you can always look good. It doesn't matter how old you are. You can always put yourself together. And so it's the same with me, really. They don't have to have in some old man's outfit. They could have come up with some better sort of situation. Maybe they couldn't afford much because they had too many damn special effects with all that mummies, and they couldn't have. Maybe they should have spent their money somewhere else other than naked ladies. They would have had more money. See, and look, talking about crankshafts and more profanity.
You treat me like a baby again, I'll wrap this goddamn walker right around your head.
I can't go there, Mr. Coscarelli. I can't support that. I mean, I remember one time I spent some time in, hospitals, had some difficulty here and there, but I always treated the nurses with real respect, even when they didn't know who I was. I mean, because I have to use different names, and as you can understand. But we always got along real good. They're there to help me, and I was there to get better, basically.
How in the hell did that mummy do that?
Now he's going out here and he's looking around. So now here his lips going a little crazy again. It's like he's been sucking lemons just before they shoot. Isn't it like his upper lips going in one direction, his lower lips going the other? I should have kept track to see which hip went out, because sometimes actors do that. They forget. They say, oh, yeah, I studied for 6 months to play this character, and then they forget which hip went out. In one scene, he's limping on his right foot. One scene, he's limping on his left. I did that one time. I hurt my foot in Fun in Acapulco, 63, I think it was. And so they had to make a note of it. The script person had to make a note of which foot I hurt so I'd be limping the right way. What's this here? It's like he's skating on his hill. Well, they're giving him a hard time doing that. I tell you what, why don't you just walk around? Why'd you go down the hill? Take the bridge. Take the road up to the bridge. What's he expect to find down there anyway? Sometimes the faces, they got my face looking all speckly. Ain't so speckly. See there, he's getting all speckled. I was never that speckled. I'm not that speckled now. I mean, I stayed out of the sun. You know, the reason why they called the Memphis Mafia is because one time we was going at a casino. We got out and we were in mohair suits and sunglasses, and you know, normally we didn't get up till 3, 4, or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We were pale white. It was sort of scary, you know. And some of the crowd, they yelled, "Hey, who are they? The Mafia? What's happening here?" And there was a reporter from the Vegas newspaper there. And the next day, they ran a story. It was this woman. She called them the Memphis Mafia, and I tell you what, it stuck because we didn't get out much. They got him looking real tan here. I guess maybe the actors conceded or whatever, but I was never that tan. Never spent that much time in the sun. That's why I look so good now. They found a bus. Well, this must be some bus, which is a bus and a mummy and some half-naked women. Is that what he's trying to find? He's trying to find the half-naked women, I think. Pretty convenient with the filmmakers. They just put a sign that says "Bridge Out." You know, they don't even have to wreck the bridge. They just put a sign that says "Bridge Out." Most people buy it. Not me. I made too many pictures. I made 33 pictures. Ah, boy, he's looking pretty sweaty there.
Come on, Mama.
Boy. And now he's back in his old home. Man, he's a mess. Change your pants, man. See, that's the thing. They think that Elvis sort of gave up. You know, his hygiene went down. Hey, I've seen some sweaty pictures and pictures where I look a little overweight. And sure, I had my time. I had some situation, but I'm doing pretty good here. And I always took care of myself. I always made sure to wash my hair and
It's a cancer.
I always took care of myself. I always
To them, it don't matter.
made my clothes
They think age will keep
clean,
the
even when I
person
didn't have
right.
as much money. You know, Scylla would always did the work, and
I know
we were
what it
always
is if they
presentable.
didn't. Might as
And if
well.
I got dirty, if I was working out of the yard, sometimes I work out of my backyard now, and I get dirty. But I always make sure to clean up, never come in the house. I always wear a pair of shoes that have the kind you can slip off before you get in the house. What's he doing here? What is that stuff? Corticoid steroids or something she was saying earlier when she was doing that thing. Now don't show it. I hope Mr. Coscarelli's got good. Whatever he's doing, I don't want to know. I guess it's something about his sickness or whatever. All these pictures are sensationalism. I did sweat, though, I must say. I mean, I sweat. When I performed, I sweat. That's why I dumped Brood all over myself, because, like I said earlier, they couldn't clean them outfits, and so I had to, you know, you smell sometimes, and so I'd go around and kiss all those women and give all the scarves away. We'd have to make sure it was a Brute day to really dump some extra Brute. Well, here they go, showing some of them pictures. Wonder which ones they got the rights to. Let's see. 33, I think they, well, who's that? Oh, no, wait a second here. That isn't me. No, they just got some guy in a black leather jacket. See, that's right. They're spending all their money on special effects. Can't even get this is just some beach picture made with Frankie Avalon or whatever. I mean, it's Frankie. That isn't even me. These girls are something from some James Coburn in like Flint picture or something. Well, not every single one. Clambake was pretty good.
Here I was complaining about loss of pride and how life had treated me, and
They're
now
getting
I
all
realize
serious now.
I never had any pride. And much
Well,
of
that's
how
true.
life had treated me had been good. The bulk of the bad was my own damn fault.
These guys are pretty accurate here.
Should have fired Colonel Parker about the time I got on the pictures.
No, even earlier than that.
Old Fart had been a shark and a fool, and I was an even bigger fool for following him.
Yeah, amen to that, sister.
If only I had treated Priscilla right.
That's true.
If I could have told my daughter I loved her.
Yeah.
Always the questions, never the answers. Always the hopes, never the fulfillments.
Boy, they're reaching deep here. I can see that. Oh, look here. Time for a presidential visit.
My niece come get me. She took me
He's got a nice fancy suit here. See, they put him in a nice fancy suit. Maybe they think he's the lead of the picture. Got me some scabby old suit. What am I, some kind of professor?
Well, you know something about him?
Literature or whatever? Why am I wearing that stupid safari jacket?
Now, one of the lesser mummies on loan.
Oh, let's make some plot stuff.
Government.
I always have to do this in pictures. I always have to sort of say the plot, you know, like in Flaming Star. It was pretty simple. And the guy goes here. This bad guy steals her, takes this here, and by the time the picture, you always get it back. So this is the part where they're trying to figure it out. Obviously, it's easy. They just show clippings, and they can do all that stuff on the computers now.
Bus. Yeah, I seen that.
Anyway,
I've seen that. See, my English was, I think, a little better than most people thought. You see, I got him saying, "I seen that." I really would have said more, especially in the pictures. They'd make sure that I talk proper. You know, it'd say, I believe I saw that. They'd have me say. They would never have me say, "I seen that." Say they got in the creek. You got to make sure he's always a hick from Tupelo, Mississippi.
How did I end up inside his memories?
Well, that must be the part where they show the woman with her boobs hanging out. Something about his memories. It's because you're psychedelic. Mr. Coscarelli's doing psychedelics or something.
I mean, when he's in the coffin.
Plus, why didn't he comb his hair? I mean, my hair was always in place. I mean, during concerts and stuff, sure, because women are running their hands through it and trying to pull it out and stuff, but normally my hair is very, very kept, very put together.
He can just keep on feeding unless he's finally destroyed.
See, now they're talking about something. Now there's some action here.
What do we do, Jack?
Hopefully they're going to team up and kick this mummy.
Well, changing rest homes might be a good idea.
That's a pretty good one.
But I will say this. Our mummy is a nighttime kind of guy.
Yeah, see, it's sort of like that Nosferatu or whatever. They got to work at night. All creature pictures. It's a good thing working pictures for Warner Brothers. You know, I had a 7-year deal signed in 1956.
Yes. Consider it.
All my pictures were during the day, though. Because I said, look, I don't want to work at night. I might be doing a concert or whatever. I want to just relax in Graceland. I don't want to, work too late. I want to be fresh in the morning. See, they got him looking too craggy here. My skin's smoother than that. I went easy on the pharmaceuticals after about 75, 76.
What do I really have left in life but this place?
Maybe he is going to be a hero.
It ain't much of a home, but it's all I got.
All right, well, maybe finally, 400 minutes into the picture, he's going to do something finally here. Let's see. Of course, that's it. He's got to swear. Dog damn, gotta swear. Oh, shit. Why don't you just say shit or fuck something else? Come on. I mean, it's good that he's offending his friends. That's a good thing. Hal Wallace would have appreciated that at Warner Brothers, but, that's all he could have said. He just said, this ain't right. I'm going to...
When the stage lights went out, it was time for drugs and stupidity and the coveting.
Well, I guess I'm going to sort of be the hero, even though he's sort of a tragic hero.
What I'd always fantasized being. A hero.
Well, there's a word, finally. Finally, got a word that I can understand. He's going to be a hero. Oh, look here. They got one of them presidential phones. That's pretty good. I remember when I was with Nixon, that phone kept going off all the time. It was either Haldeman or whatever. Of course, they had their own little problems later they had to work out. But when I was there, that thing really worked. And the only time that phone rang is when there was really a call that really was important. And I was talking to President. What's now? Take care of business, see?
Just what are you getting at, Elvis?
TCB.
I think you know what I'm getting at, Mr. President. We're going to kill us a mummy.
See, that's it. Here's the big action sequence comes. This is where there's sort of a montage they'll do next, like getting guns ready, loading guns, and lighting things on fire. I can see it now. But anyway, it's with President Nixon. The light goes off, and he's on the phone, and it turns out it was just Pat, his wife. She wanted to make sure that he was okay with pork sausages some morning because he had some dignitaries over. They had to work it out. I thought that was pretty good.
Great. Matches.
These guys are moving around pretty good now.
Scrounge up a cigarette lighter.
Good.
I guess they got the old kind. That's what kind that the boys used to use.
Big check on that, baby.
There's a suit. And I got to look at the credits at the end of this picture because I think those suits look really, really familiar. I mean, they look good. They didn't spend much money on anything else, and I don't know how much they paid these actors here. Probably paid this old guy more than that Campbell guy, but they spent some money somewhere. So I wonder if he's going to wear that. I hope he is. But I don't know if I want to see a limping Elvis with a cancer on his and his big gut hanging out. I'm not sure if I want to go there, but made it this far in the picture. We'll see how far I can go.
All right, now 2:45 a.m. We hook up right back here.
Oh, no, at the rate we travel.
Right back here. See, right back here. I want to make sure all them Southern people, they just rock it back here.
Say, Jack.
I mean, normally I would say, let's just meet back here.
We're doing, man?
And they'd let me do it. But now they're sort of making it seem like, so you got to keep reminding the audience, look, he's from Memphis.
Let's just hope that they, whoever they are, is right.
Check on that, too. All right, synchronized watches.
Synchronized. Boy, they're going to action, these boys. It's funny, I never had that kind of watch. One time I had a simple Timex for about 20 years. Did a good job. I don't know what they got him wearing there for, but I think they should have checked. I mean, I just wear a simple, real plain one. Because of my glaucoma situation, I got to have my numbers a little bigger on the hand of the watch. But, you know, just a regular watch is all I need. And I think they got them tricked up here. Remember, they spent too much money on the watch, not enough on the damn Elvis songs. Where are the Elvis songs? Oh, looky here. I was afraid of that same thing. I was afraid of that. I mean, look how fat he looks. He's just gut hanging out, stick like the belt's holding up his gut. It's pretty good, I guess, but I don't have that gut now. Look, I'm standing up. I'm standing up here. See, we go again. See, it sounds a little different. I can still stand up. I can still move around. I can still perform. Matter of fact, while we're sitting here, I'm just gonna string up a little something. It's a new bit I've been working on. It's a little something. It's just a little ditty. I'm just gonna do a few pieces of it because it's something that I got some more time on my hands now, so I've been sort of playing it. A little something like this. You're my sweetie pie. You're my turtle dove. If you are my simple one, it's you that are simply in love. Well, something like that. I forget some of the words, but you know, it's still something I've been working on in the studio. I got some new material because, you know, you can't just sit around all day and watching TV and Oprah and all that sort of stuff. You got to get out and, you know, see, now I was talking about the daughter. They're trying to get the audience by the heartstrings now. They're trying to, every time they do that in all my pitches, like in Love Me Tender, they had a scene with a little girl. I always got to get a little girl in there because it gets you all weepy-eyed, you know, so. I see now they're making him seem like I never talked to her. I talk to her all the time. That's why I got a cell phone, man. All they have to do is call. That's all they got to do is call. You know, I'm here. How big of a deal is it? I mean, man. See, they're trying to play out my black. Oh, excuse me. Hold on there. Yeah. Hey, girly girl, how you doing? It's great to hear your voice. It's so funny to hear you call because I was just talking about you. I'm in here recording in the place. I can't really say where I am, but I can't really say who I'm talking to. I can't really say who I am, but I say it's great to hear you. How you doing? What you been up to? Yeah. Where's he these days? Well, you know how I feel about it. I mean, I think he ought to treat you a little better. I think he should stop sort of nickel and diming. I got enough money for everybody. You know, he says, I want to use my money to take care of her. I appreciate that. When I was his age, I said the same thing. But, you know, baby, there comes a time when you just, a man's got to just accept the things that he gets and don't worry about it, you know. So that's what I say. I say I wouldn't worry about him. So, look, I got to get back here because I think I'm just missing. They're making all kinds of crazy things about what they think I'm still doing now. It's pretty funny, but it's kind of pisses me off, too. So I got to pay attention here in case I'm going to have them change anything. All right. Thanks for calling, baby. Take care of yourself. Looks like we're getting out of some action here. I think it's time for some more popcorn here. Oh. This is where it always gets good. This is what they call Act 3 in a picture. I think end of Act 2 is where it says, we're going to kill us a mummy. That's how they always do it. Act 1, you sort of meet who people are, see what the situation is, see what the problems are. End of Act 1, it's sort of like, damn, I'm in a rest home with a growth in my pecker. Act 2 is you sort of spend some time explaining what the situation is and what you sort of confront the problem like they're looking for a mummy. And finally, they're trying to figure out who's killing all these people in the rest home. And then finally, end of Act 2, they got to make a plan. So this is it. The guys know each other. They're hanging out. He's got his best jumpsuit on. Although the cigar thing is way out of control. I never had a cigar or a cigarette. Never had a toke of marijuana. None of that stuff. I mean, I was a singer. Singing is my instrument. They got him sucking on a cigar like he's Edward G. Robinson or something. I don't know why. I guess he's using that for some fuse later or something, but what's them flashing lights again? I think it's mummy time. But I hope he gets rid of that cigar. I really don't approve of that, because I never did drugs and I never did any kinds of that other stuff. Everything I did was always above board. Because I want kids to start smoking cigars, you know, and that would be a bad thing for them kids to start doing. Now, where'd he go? 2 seconds ago he was there. Where'd he go now? That's the thing with all that fancy editing, you know. Kid Galahad, they had a couple good sequences that were pretty funny. Kissing Cousins, they had somewhere. The guy was doing some tricky editing, and the audience didn't know whether it was me or the bad guy for a little bit. It was pretty exciting. I mean, it's sort of like this. It gets dark. I think in these horror pictures, they never really had that much money, so they just don't light it. It's a pretty simple way. They got a guy in a white suit. He doesn't need much light. It just shows up. And the bad guy, he's wearing dark stuff, but it's okay. He's supposed to be dark and scary. See, again, now, every time the music, look behind him, see there? I don't want to wreck the scene for you, but so he's going to fight himself a mummy now. Don't now. Yeah, you do something, son. There you go. And the fight scenes, you know, because I was doing karate, I always did those scenes pretty good. They didn't have to use a stunt double for me too much, because I was always pretty agile. And I see here, they got him like he just can't do nothing. That's crazy. I could do it, even to this day, I can sort of jump right back up as if I fell. Because this morning I fell in the bathroom. I was brushing my teeth, and there was a little gob of goo slipped down. I slipped on the floor. And,
Don't make me use my stuff on you, baby.
oh, look at that. They stole a line from a picture. What was that from? Was that from, I think that was from Paradise Wine Style or something. I'm not sure. See, in the back of the karate, see, I could have done it. I could just hold right there, could have held it in the first position, and as he got closer, I just give him 1, 2, whop, 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 and he'd be down. And if you're going to introduce all this karate stuff, he's looking pretty stern there. If you're going to introduce all this karate stuff, see here, I would have stayed in that position, sort of like a lotus thing. And when we got closer, I just would have high-stepped him, would hit him with a cross, and come through with a couple of rights, and that would have been it. He would have been end of story. Except where'd he go?
Damn.
Oh, these guys are really tricky, I tell you.
Hey, you stay put. I'll flush him out.
Well, those wheelchairs are pretty handy, aren't they? He's moving pretty good. I always got that white scarf. See that white scarf he's got on there? I always prefer to have something else slightly different color, because it looked like just one piece of like a breadstick or something if I had that. So I'd always go for like a red scarf or something. So it's not completely accurate here. He's fighting us. Yeah, get your bag, get your mojo bag, do something, man. See, this is unrealistic, because I would have been running over there or something, and you know, and Loving You, I think it did that about 57. I had a scene where the guy's getting beat up, and it's a standard procedure with a hero that you got to do something. What's this here now? I see. He's going to take the chair. That's pretty clever. Looky here, yeah. Now, what's that thing full? That's full of some kind of liquid or something. He's going to. Maybe that's what this. Is that what the cigar's for? See, I don't think I would have agreed to that. I would never say the hero is in a wheelchair. It's just too much of a stretch. Yeah, so he's moving pretty good there. That's good. See, they got the hero. You got to sort of, that's a nice touch. Sort of you whistle at him like a Western.
You undead sack of shit.
Now, see, now they got to say the S word again. And this is where it really, this sort of thing, he could have just said, like for example, if I was making something like, even as far away as, I don't know, Stay Away Joe, for example. I never would have said the S word. I would have said, you know, come and get it, you undead thing. We would have simplified it, and it would have meant the same thing, you know. Now here, of course, they gotta get some violence going, and I see that's what it was. The sprayer sprayed him with the stuff and hit the thing, and boy, that's pretty convoluted, but sure, I'll go with it, because it's a horror, it's a terror picture. I wouldn't know what to do if I was acting in a terror picture. So it's hard for me to see, you know, whether this guy is doing a good job or not, because I just never really did them.
Mr. Kennedy?
And The Trouble with Girls had some good dramatic parts in there, but there's even a few scary parts. But I'm not really sure. Like, I wouldn't know where to make my eyes real big or where to sort of jump out of my skin. I was sort of used to just twitching my lip and having some fun and singing to pre-recorded song. So it's hard to say. I guess these guys are doing all right. I mean, this other guy, and this guy's been in some real pictures, but this Elvis boy, I seen him in some pictures. I had to turn him off because girl got a pencil on the Achilles heel. It was the evil death, the death evil, something like that. They did a bunch of them. I guess they made money, but so I guess it's normal. I guess this guy knows what to do. He knows whether to bug his eyes out or whether to be big or small. I never could figure it out. It's sort of why I shied away from it. You know, I had a chance to do some of those Elvis meets Mummy, Elvis meets, Hercules or whatever. I had a chance to do that sort of thing, but I turned them down because I thought if I can't sing, because they didn't want me to sing, because I didn't think it would work, a monster and music. But they're sort of doing monsters and music here, and I don't know, maybe this is working. I did salute the president. I did. That much is accurate. When I met both President Kennedy and President Nixon, I saluted them both because I wasn't really sure what to do. I kept saying, well, should I salute him or shake his hand? Or you say, Mr. President, do you address him as Mr. President? And it was funny because eventually Mr. President Kennedy said, hey, look, man, just call me Jack. So that was pretty easy. But President Nixon, he was a little more of a straight arrow. He liked the sound of that word president. What am I doing? Oh, it's some incantation thing. Evil is your black design. You can bet the goodness of the light ones will kick your bad behind. Kick your bad behind? What's that, man? I guess this is it must have been more what Joe was smoking. There's some kind of humor here. I mean, how's you supposed to kill the mummy, man? Pull some stuff out of your mojo bag. Well, you just don't stand around hollering. Just get your stuff. You got that kemosabe thing. You got the Purple Heart thing. Just get that out and do something. Well, he's got to have to do something now. What's happening here? Oh, that's pretty interesting. Oh, you can talk, but he can't really talk. What's happening here? The dog dig. Well, that's just uncalled for. I mean, come on. Now this guy's not only wearing a cowboy hat and cowboy boots, but he's swearing like a sailor when I was in the service. Even when I was in the service, people had a lot more respect for that sort of thing. How you doing a rebel yell there? I think that's pretty good. Now we're getting into some fighting. Finally, I got some mano-a-mano sort of. When I did my fight scenes at Kid Galahad, I always made sure to work with the stunt guys real closely to get those punches just right because, I hit a guy once, hit a stuntman. I only hit him once, but I'll tell you what, because I was black belt, I put him in the hospital, poor guy. Jimmy Pruitt, I think was his name. I think he's all right now, but I put his nose and put it right on the other side of his face. So you always got to, when you're doing stunts, you got to make sure you rehearse them, practice them. It's another man you're doing your fight scene with, not just stuntman. Just because he's a stuntman doesn't mean he can't get hurt. He's hurt. Of course, that's probably not real. They do those little. They take a syrup, it's like a Caro syrup, and they dip it and they put some red stuff in there. I seen them make up a batch of it one time. I had a fight scene I had to do in clam bake, guy hits me and there's a little bit of blood, and I tell you, these boys took them a half hour just to make this stuff up. And boy, it was sweet. It was sweet, but it had a sort of a coffee taste because they darkened it with a little bit of coffee, some coffee creamer, and some coloration and stuff. It was pretty interesting stuff, but boy, sticky you get on everything. Terrible. Looks like he's dying here now.
And if I did, not only would I be one dead son of a bitch, but so would my soul. That'd just be so.
Yeah, so you can't just say, I'd be dead.
No reincarnation,
Then I'd be dead. He has to say some bitch, because unfortunately it just got, for me, it puts it in another whole dimension. It takes it from being a serious picture to being kind of a silly picture. So this is kind of a silly picture is what I say. TCB, well, that's all right. We said that a lot, although I never said TCB to a mummy before, I'll say that.
Your soul-sucking days are over, amigo.
It's funny, amigo. He says amigo. I think I said amigo once in Fun in Acapulco, and that's what, 40 years ago or something like that. And these boys, and they hear these catchphrases, TCB, amigo, hey, baby. They just can't get enough of them. Did they finally kill this thing, or am I going to watch them light him on fire for the third time? Well, I see different pieces floating there. Maybe there's got to be something. Let's just hope it's all over. They're going to have one of them endings like in that picture, Carrie. You know, remember that? You watch the whole picture and you think everything's fine. Then up at the very end of the grave, bum, 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 and it comes out and she's all screaming and scary. And it cuts to the end credits. Hopefully this won't be something like that. This old boy can just, he's a hero. All right, what's he going to do now?
I felt something inside grating against something soft. I felt like a water balloon with a hole poked in it.
He's getting poetic now.
I was going down for the last count, and I knew it.
Well, I still have my soul. It's still mine.
Still his, that's right.
All mine.
All right, then he is a hero.
The folks up there, Shady Rest,
That's right, he saved him too.
they have theirs too.
Yep.
And they're gonna keep them.
Well, that's good. That's some good news in this picture. Every single one. He's batting 1,000. What's happening here now? Boy, them stars are bright. I wonder how they did that. Probably some painting or something. Some animation. They can do so much in computers these days. What's this here? That's another Egyptian. Well, looky there, all is well. Well, that's all right. I guess this ain't
Thank you.
too offensive of a picture.
Thank you very much.
Well, look at there. They said the final word. They said final word. That's pretty good. And then what are we going to do now? You going to get up? Come on, Elvis, get up. Well, no, wait a second here. This is where you're supposed to get up and say, okay, good. I go back to the rest home now, and you see him eating a peanut butter banana sandwich at the end. I mean, that's it? He's dead? Wait a second. Why would you go through all that trouble to bring him back from the dead and say he's already alive and he's swapped with an Elvis impersonator and you kill him at the very end? Man, that's just too weird. Don Coscarelli, I tell you, this old boy. Starring Bruce Campbell. Well, I can skip him for a couple more pictures. I'll tell you what. Ossie Davis, now there's an actor. So tell you what, let me just finish up here with a little ditty that I've been working on. It's different than another one because I got kind of confused with different versions. Sometimes I write 3, 4, 5 versions for a song, and I can't remember which one it was. So this is called Down by the Riverside. Down by the riverside, I'm singing so blue. Down by the riverside, I'm thinking of you. It's just I haven't got the rest of it. I'm still sort of thinking of how I want to go with it. These days, my mind's kind of wandering, a little here, a little there, but I always got music in my heart and hope for the future. Because I tell you what, some things that people don't realize, in 1992, the U.S. Postal Service announced that they were going to make a stamp, and that stamp was voted on by 1.2 million people, and guess what? They picked that young rocker. They had a couple of choices there, and they picked that out. Let me tell you, there's a few other things you might want to know about this old boy that people think is dead. The King had the record for the most charted singles, 114. 414 times the singles got to the charts. How about that, sitting down by the river? Most top 10 singles, he had 38 of them. Most weeks in the number 1 position, he had 80 of them. He also appeared in 33 pictures. Now, if that ain't something, this old boy is dead. All right, I'm going to try one last little piece here. This is something, it's very personal, and I hope you can relate to it. It's called Meet Me by the Caddy. Meet me by the caddy. It's a little more of an upbeat number. I'll be sitting there staking in my shoes. Meet me by the caddy. I'll be the man who ain't singing the blues. And it's just, I'm still haven't really got it down yet. But anyway, I don't know what's going to happen with this picture. I know it sort of managed to escape going straight to video or whatever they have those things. They have those small little things now. It's like a CBD, something like that. You put the picture on the whole thing. I mean, I hope it comes out and somebody sees it somewhere because the word's got to get out that well, some people are still here. They're still singing. They're still dreaming. That's all I have to say is thank you. Thank you very much. She was down by the river singing her song. She was down by the river for 3 days long. I'm going a little bit back to my roots now. Earlier, I got into the rock and roll, sort of got into things like that. I don't like this electronic sort of music, so I'm just going to go back to... I'm doing some more unplugged sort of things, you know, sort of vamps and things like that, some fun stuff from when I used to just play back in the bayous. Before I had that contract there in 1955, signed there for the Sun record label and that, but now I'm just kind of taking it easy and singing my song. Down by the river, she's waiting for me. She's never blue. She's 53. I guess that's just about it. I don't want to give too much away because if I put that album out sometime soon, you know, don't want you to just rent this movie in order to listen to it. So I'm not going to play any more. I think you should just buy the song when it comes out. I like the guitar they got on this here song. Sounds pretty nice. Oh, hold on, excuse me now. Yeah. Hey, Red, how you doing? Yeah, it's no, I just finished up. It's all right. Yeah, it's just some silly picture. Yeah, it's just doing this favor for some guy. Yeah, you ready? You on for tonight? You gonna bring him? I ran out of pics. You gonna bring yours? Okay, make sure Jimmy shows up too. He didn't show up last time, and you know, if we don't have that third core, we got nothing, man. Your garage or mine? That sounds good. Okay, amigo. You be good. Bye.